Just like that, the calendar has flipped to July, and you know what that means. We're quickly approaching already the midway point of the 2024 NECBL season, where the games become all the more important. The Newport Gulls had an unexpected off day yesterday after their trip to Valley was rained out. That will be made up as part of a doubleheader next week. So a little bit of freshness coming into today after yesterday was off for Newport, as they have another home game welcoming the Upper Valley Nighthawks for a non-divisional matchup. Welcome into Cardines Field here in Newport, Rhode Island. I'm Sam Reese. It's the Gulls and the Nighthawks for the second and final time this regular season anyways. And we've got plenty of great interviews coming your way on the pregame show, so make sure you stick around.
I won!
That's a good play!
Since 1974, the Rhode Island Lottery has paid over $57 billion in prizes and contributed over $8 billion to Rhode Island's general fund. Your Rhode Island Lottery, a good play for 50 years and counting.
Welcome back inside the Newport Gulls pregame show. My name is Brendan Locke, standing alongside Andrew Filippelli. Andrew, just explain to the folks exactly what you do for the Gulls.
Yeah, so I'm the Assistant Director of Baseball Operations, reporting directly to Director of Baseball Operations Mike Falcone, kind of doing a little bit of everything between getting scouting reports ready for the coaching staff, helping set up at the ballpark, and ultimately just doing anything I can to kind of help the team be in a good spot for home or away games.
Just a do everything guy?
A little bit of both, a little bit of each. Trying to help the guys in any way possible.
Where are you in school and what year are you?
I'm going to be a senior at Franklin Marshall College, play baseball there, Division III level.
Okay, so you clearly, you could get in there and take some hacks?
I don't know about that. I've played against a few guys in this league, so I got a roommate in this league as well, so it's pretty fun watching these guys play, but yeah.
Favorite thing about the Newport Gulls?
Probably just the town. My family has a home here, so it's pretty fun living here for the summer, and never really been extensive period of time in Newport before, so it's pretty awesome.
There you go. That's Andrew Filippelli. My name is Brendan Locke. The Newport Gulls pregame show rolls on in just a moment.
A warm welcome back into the Newport Gulls pregame show. I'm Sam Reese, now joined by pitcher Mason Olsch. And Mason, for you personally, you patiently waited to finally take the field and make your debut last week, I should say, against Danbury. You've now made a couple of appearances. So for you on a personal level, how have you felt out there first couple appearances for Newport?
Yeah, obviously I've been dealing with a little bit of an injury here, but getting back out there with the team, it feels great. Starting to feel a little bit better. Just going to take one inning at a time. Right,
that's great to hear. And for you as well, you have plenty of experience in this league, spending the last couple of summers in Bristol with the Blues. So how much does that experience just in the NECBL help you in terms of your experience and kind of telling the other guys on the team what it's like in this league, even though it's your first year in Newport?
Yeah, so, obviously the experience is there for me, so I just try and take that out in the field and rely on my defense to kind of make the plays for me, and it's a little less nerve-wracking going out there for my third summer, so it's very good.
Right, and now in Newport for the first time after being in Bristol the last couple of years, how has it been settling in here with the Gulls, playing at Cardines, 3 times a week, and being around this group of guys? How has it been settling in here?
This first month here has been pretty awesome. Host family's great, players are awesome. Playing in front of these fans is great, even though I haven't got my debut here yet, but it's going to be very exciting when I do.
Yeah, how excited are you to finally come out here in a Gulls uniform, pitching in front of the crowd here at Cardines?
I'm looking forward to it a lot, actually.
All right, thanks so much for the time, Mason. That's Mason Olsch of Quinnipiac. We'll be back in a moment as the Gulls pregame show continues after a quick break. Stick around.
Welcome back inside the Newport Gulls pregame show. My name is Brendan Locke, standing alongside Ryan McNeil. Ryan, what do you do for the Gulls?
I'm a part of the media operations team here, help out with camera work, stuff in the control room, pretty much everything Mr. Basile and Mr. Lima asked me to do. I'm there with bated breath.
Massive shout out to Mr. Basile and Mr. Lima. Always appreciate their work. Where do you go to school and what year are you?
I am a recent graduate from Sacred Heart University, class of 2024, sports comm major, media arts major as well, so it leads to places like this. I currently also work for the Worcester Red Sox, so a major like that, a school like that, good sports comm program, it leads to cool places like this and interesting jobs.
What do you do for the Woo Sox?
Mostly camera work, which is a lot of fun. You do stuff for the in-park screens and go into broadcast, which is a lot of fun. doing each side of it all and getting cool shots back from break. You got to be very artistic with a lot of things, and it's just fun to go to work at a ballpark every day.
Cardines or Polar Park?
Ooh, what a question. You know, Cardines just has the history. It's got the charm. It's got the smell of baseball with the wood. I got to go with Cardines Field all the way.
That's Ryan McNeil. My name is Brendan Locke. The Newport Gulls pregame show rolls on.
And welcome back into the Newport Gulls pregame show. I'm Sam Reese, pleased to be joined by pitching coach of the Gulls, Kevin Long. Coach, I got to first start off. How are you doing personally? I know you missed some time. I think you were more sick than I was somehow. So you're looking great. You're back here with the team. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I had a real bad upper respiratory infection. I was out for 8 games, and you know, I'm starting to feel really good now. I'm glad I'm back. I'm excited, and I feel rejuvenated.
That's lovely to hear. You're rejuvenated. An unexpected off day yesterday as well with the postponement due to rain of that trip to Valley, which will be made up as a doubleheader next week. So I want to go back. I know you just returned to the team, but on Friday night in that epic comeback win against Bristol, obviously things didn't start out in an ideal manner, but the bullpen combined went 7 2/3 innings and really put in a good performance. So I know Saturday wasn't quite the same story, but how do you think the bullpen as a whole can build off of Friday's performance, which really allowed the Gulls to come back in that game?
Absolutely. You know, we were down, I believe it was 8-0 at one point.
Yeah.
You know, and I have to really shake Blake's hand for coming in and taking the start like that, because we lost Tier. Right. So he came in, he did the best he could with a tough situation, and then everybody behind him, they re-grabbed the momentum, and they held the opposition at bay for us to come back a little bit at a time. Then we had that big inning, and then Caden came in there and shut the door, and it settled things. And when you come back, you know, from a deficit like that, it's a real builder. It's a real builder.
Right, and you mentioned quickly, you know, how Jackson Tier is now gone, unfortunately, after he was, you know, one of the key starters in the rotation, and then Adam Marr dealing with tendonitis. He'll be out for a while, and from my understanding, you said Cade Conley is now out the door. So talk about, from your perspective as the pitching coach and just the pitching staff as a whole, what it takes to kind of overcome some of that adversity, because the starting rotation, in my opinion, has been one of the strong suits of this team through the month of June.
No doubt. You know, but, you know, when a door closes, a window opens. And opportunity changes anything in this business. And guys that have not got a lot of innings are going to get their opportunity. And I'm sure they're going to step up and do what Gulls do. They're going to go in there and help the team.
Absolutely. And last question for you, Coach. The calendar has now flipped to July, so we're towards that midway mark of the season already, where, you know, the games get more important, and then with makeups thrown in there, I did some calculations. Starting next Monday, it'll be 15 games in 13 days, which can obviously be grueling on the pitching staff. So how much are you not trying to look too far into the future, but also realizing that it's a pretty loaded stretch of the schedule coming up in that middle portion of the regular season?
Well, you know, generally you have to plan, but you have to live in the moment. And, you know, we have a rotation set. They're going to get better, and our bullpen's going to start to do a better job. And before you know it, it's going to be July 29th.
Right.
Okay, and at that point, you know, the chips are where they fell. So we're looking to just concentrate on one game at a time and prepare a little bit for the future. But I'm excited about today. We got Coleman going today. He's pitched really well for us. You know, my bullpen's really healthy today, so I'm excited. No rain. We don't want any rain.
No, we want the rain to stay away. It's drizzling a bit here, but fingers crossed it should clear up for first pitch. Coach Long, thanks for the time as always. We're glad to see you healthy again, back in the dugout for the Gulls, and we appreciate your time as always. We'll be back in a moment with more on the Gulls pregame show. Make sure you stick around.
I do. That's why I saw you stand there.
Welcome back into the Gulls pregame show. I'm Sam Reese here with you. That just about does it for our pregame show here on the Newport Gulls Broadcast Network. For the second and final time this regular season, it's the Gulls and the Nighthawks squaring off in a non-divisional battle. Newport took the matchup up at Upper Valley 8-4, looking for the season sweep on this Monday night here at Cardines Field. If you want to watch the action, you can do so over on ESPN Plus. That's where you'll find the game broadcast with first pitch scheduled for 6:35. That's it for the Newport Gulls pregame show. I'm Sam Reese. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone.
I won!
That's a good play!
Since 1974, the Rhode Island Lottery has paid over $57 billion in prizes and contributed over $8 billion to Rhode Island's general fund. Your Rhode Island Lottery, a good play for 50 years and counting.
It's a gorgeous day in Newport, Rhode Island, and that means we're ready for baseball here at Cardines Field as the Upper Valley Nighthawks at 8 and 11 take a trip down south to take on the Newport Gulls at 12 and 7. We welcome you into Cardines Field alongside Brendan Locke and Upper Valley broadcaster Ian Binke. I'm Sam Reese. We have the national anthem coming up momentarily, so we'll step aside for a quick moment, and after the anthem, we'll have first pitch here on ESPN Plus. A warm welcome back into Newport, Rhode Island here at Cardines Field. Really perfect conditions for baseball on this Monday night as we officially introduce you to the broadcast booth. I'm Sam Reese alongside Brendan Locke and Upper Valley broadcaster Ian Binke. And Ian, well, I'll start things off with you because the Nighthawks come in at 8 and 11 as mentioned. And when Newport and Upper Valley met, what was it, about 2.5 weeks ago, Newport actually started what would be a 10-game slide for the Nighthawks, but since then they bounced back in a big way with 4 straight wins.
That's absolutely right, and it's been a day and night for the Nighthawks offense. Over that 10-game losing streak, only 22 runs. That's an average of just over 2 per game, but now, ever since then, they've scored 38 runs over the next 35 innings. So that's an immense turnaround in just a short amount of time. They got some strong starting pitching in a doubleheader sweep against Vermont as well yesterday. They look to carry that over here tonight against a strong-hitting Gulls team.
That's right. So Upper Valley coming off of a statement doubleheader sweep of Vermont, the best team in the league yesterday, but Newport didn't play yesterday. They got an unexpected off day as their trip to Valley was rained out the night before. So an opportunity to kind of rest up for this matchup as we flip the calendar to July, Brendan. And make no mistake about it, it's been some ups and downs for Newport, but after all, they're still first in the Coastal Division despite facing plenty of adversity.
Well, they're first in the Coastal Division, and they have a 2.5 game lead, which is a padded lead, especially at this point in the season. If they're able to take care of business, they're in a great spot heading into as we progress into late July. But for this Gulls team, it's kind of just been a tale of two teams. Every time we see them, sometimes they win 12-10. Sometimes they're able to win 1-0. Sometimes they lose 8-3. We really don't know what we're going to get from the Gulls team night in and night out. And that's what we're talking to Mike Coombs about, trying to find consistency, trying to find a level, trying to find that pitching rotation that works best. And so hopefully the Gulls can get rolling here as we head into the second half of the season.
Right. It's crazy to think it's already July as we hit that middle stretch of the NECBL season where we're really seeing the standings, start to take shape and that playoff picture starts to become more of something to really keep an eye on. And as you can see here at Cardines Field, it is mascot night. So mascots of a variety of teams from New England here tonight. It's a packed house at Cardines Field. I know all of the fans here are loving it. I know you're loving it as well,
I'm
Brendan.
so excited about these mascots. I saw this in a promo calendar about a week ago, and I got so excited to see it in person. What a thrill. I'm jacked up.
I think we all are for another beautiful night of baseball here in Newport, Rhode Island. And you see right there, that's the man on the mound tonight for Newport, taking some pictures with some kids before he gets his warm-up pitches going. And Brendan, it is Aiden Coleman on the bump for Newport, making his 4th start of the summer, and really so far so good. The stats tell you that much.
He's looked good. Obviously the one decision, but you know, the sophomore out of UPenn has looked really good. And, 10 Ks in his last outing against Ocean State about a week and a half ago, and he's been really steady thus far for the Gulls in a rotation that has struggled to find some consistency.
The thing that stands out to me is that he got 23 strikeouts, just 4 walks so far through 13 and a third. So it shows me he has great stuff and good command as well. And for a Nighthawks team that works a lot of walks, it's going to be key tonight to keep it in the zone and do soft contact.
So we'll see how Upper Valley fares against Coleman tonight. Take us through the rest of that defensive alignment for Newport tonight, Brendan.
Jake Burley behind the plate, catching for Aiden Coleman. Dixon Williams at third. Randy Seymour to his left at short. Jack Doyle and Matt Awesomenfort on the right side of the infield. Andrew Duncan in center with Tyler Hare to his right and Carmelo Musiaka to his left.
Musiaka making his 3rd appearance for the Gulls out in the outfield for Newport. And while we're at it, Ian, why don't you take us through the Upper Valley batting order that will go against Coleman tonight?
Trey Crispin leads things off. He was just honored with the Week 4 honor roll after a strong showing in his first week in an Upper Valley uniform. Ethan Lizama follows him with DJ Pacheco. Garrick Fry, the walk-off hero in Game 2 against Vermont Bats cleanup, followed by Cole Fellows and Owen Petrich. Rounding things out, Michael Trommer, Carter Jagiello returning to the team, and Luke Zeisloft.
All right, so that's how the Nighthawks line up. These two teams met 17 days ago up in Hartford, Vermont. It was an 8-4 victory for Newport, and this is Upper Valley's lone trip here to Cardines this season. So the second and final regular season meeting between these two non-divisional opponents. There's the throwdown from Jake Burley, and we are just about ready to play ball. Newport wearing its all-white uniforms, while Upper Valley in their typical blue colors with the yellow outline. And before we throw out the first pitch, what are your keys to the game tonight, Brendan, for Newport?
Well, we already talked about the consistency aspect of things and how the Gulls have really struggled to find a level that they can play steady at. Defense, the last 2 games, they've spotted the other team's 8 runs, down 8-0 in the first game after 2 innings, and same thing on Saturday.
All right, we're underway. First pitch ball thrown by Aiden Coleman to Trey Crispin. 6:38 first pitch. Temperature 73 degrees on a sunny evening in Newport, Rhode Island. The 1-0 from the righty Coleman. And that sails up and in on Crispin, so a couple of balls taken to start off. Aiden Coleman on the mound for Newport, a rising sophomore at Pittsburgh. This one fouled straight back by Crispin, the William and Mary product, now 2-1 the count.
And it's no wonder why Crispin was honored with Week 4 honor roll spot. Over his last 4 games, hitting .500 with a homer, 2 doubles, 6 batted in.
The 2-1 pitch from the righty Coleman. Off the bat, it's a 2-hopper to short. Seymour's there, has time to collect, and the throw on the money. 1 up, 1 down to begin the ballgame.
Really nice work there by Coleman. You fall behind to the leadoff man, but then come back and get him to ground out. Good comeback in that at-bat. You're off to a smooth start.
Now up at bat, one of the most important pieces of this offensive lineup, and just lineup in general for Upper Valley, Ethan Lizama, who's from Guam, just wrapped up his junior season at Western Kentucky. And Coleman fires outside on the first pitch to the left-handed batter, Lizama.
That's unbelievable, by the way. That he's, because we heard the starting lineup and they read it something differently, but from Guam, I mean, how many baseball players can there be in Guam?
That's a good question. The off-speed pitch cut on and missed. The count now even.
I think you could definitely count major leaguers on one hand from Guam. Sean Reed Foley is the most recently one from Guam.
That's a great shout. And a borderline pitch from Coleman just inside. A good take from Lizama. The count now 2-1.
Answer your question, just 2 major leaguers from Guam.
There you go.
Some great live research there from Ian as that's fired up high by Coleman. The count now 3-1. 1 away, nobody on. Lizama, the number 2 hitter in the lineup, at the plate for the Nighthawks. 3-1 pitch. Coleman winds and deals, rope down the right field line, and that's a fair ball rolling all the way to the corner. It's tracked down by Tyler Hare, and Lazama is cruising in the second. That's a stand-up double for the first hit of the night.
Just an inside pitch that he turned on, smoked down the line in right field, just kept fair there. Nighthawks have been playing with those base lines and the lines down right and left field. That time Lazama strikes for his 5th double of the year. Take a look at it there. It looked like Hare had a tough time tracking it down as well. Took an odd hop right there as it hit the wall. Again, short wall here in right field at Cardines. It is plenty tall, but it gave him a little bit of trouble out there.
28 feet tall is that fence on the entirety of the outfield. Coleman delivers a first pitch ball to DJ Pacheco, the number 3 hitter, who plays at Richmond from Danvers, Massachusetts. Played for the Navigators last summer. Coleman glances at second, kicks and fires, and that just misses the zone. 2-0. Coleman having some command issues early on, which really hasn't been a struggle for him this season so far.
Yeah, he's struggling to locate, which is really surprising. Not something that we've seen often, obviously, as we pointed out in the beginning of the game. Not a lot of walks from him, but hasn't quite looked like himself.
Here comes the 2-0 from the righty. Off speed, and it clips the top of the zone. Strike called. Pacheco wasn't so sure.
Pacheco, 2 homers in that doubleheader against Vermont last night, 1 in each game. Imagine he might be trying to eye the straightaway left field here.
That's a confident hitter at the plate. We'll see what Coleman offers on the 2-1. The San Antonio native delivers a breaking ball, swing and a miss. He mixed it up on Pacheco for strike 2, and it's all even.
That's a great pitch. Just dropped it out of the zone. That started at the letters on Pacheco's chest and just dropped to his back feet.
The 2-2. Look over at second. Pitch fired. It's good contact out to right, but Hare is under it for the out. And having to track back to second is Lazama. So 2 down here in the inning, and an important out there for Newport.
Yeah, that short wall and right, I should say short dimensions, gives and it takes. That one, it took one away because that's a hard line drive. A lot of fields here, the right fielder would be playing back. That falls in for a base hit, but instead, Hare playing shallow there, able to make the catch on the sinking line drive.
Here's Garrick Fry at the plate, who is batting cleanup tonight, the shortstop for Upper Valley. And that's placed perfectly by Coleman for the first pitch, for a first pitch strike, 0-1.
Coleman finding some real success with that curveball, 72, and dropped it in the zone. Interesting to see if that's something that he keys in on to start finding some strikes.
The 0-1 down Broadway, hit hard on the ground, scooped up by Doyle, and the throw in time for out number 3. We played a half inning. The Nighthawks leave a runner stranded at second. No score here on ESPN+. Welcome back here to Cardines Field. We head to the bottom of the first inning, and right there you see the man on the mound tonight for the Nighthawks. It's Xavier Pelzer. Ian, he's making his 3rd start of the summer. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, road warrior, all 3 starts on the road, and he's pitched around trouble in every single start this year. He's allowed 8 hits, 7 walks so far through his first few outings. but owns a low ERA. He's only allowed a couple of runs, a 2.57 ERA, in fact. So for him, it's trying to get ahead in counts. He falls into issues of getting behind, allowing some free passes and hard contact, but if he pitches ahead, it's his key to success.
Pelzer, a rising sophomore at South Carolina, did not play for the Gamecocks this past spring. How about you take us through the rest of that defense and how it looks tonight for Upper Valley as well, Ian?
A left to right across the outfield, DJ Pacheco, Luke Zeisloft, Ethan Lizama. Right to left across the infield, Owen Petrich, Trey Chrisman, Garrett Fry, Michael Traumer. That middle infield has been turning a ton of double plays recently. Carter Jagiella back behind the plate after a brief hiatus from the ball club, and he's catching the pitches tonight from Pelzer.
All right, Andrew Duncan steps into the batter's box, the usual leadoff man for Newport the last couple of weeks now. And the first pitch from Pelzer misses outside at 83, ball one. We'll get to the Newport batting order when we have the opportunity to do so. And time called by Duncan. It looks like the wrap on his arm unpeeled for a moment, so he fixed that up quickly and ready for work once more. Duncan comes in on a 7-game hit streak for the Gulls. And it's fired down low by Pelzer, 2-0.
He's really found a lot of success in this leadoff spot. He's found basically become a daily player for them in center field, and he's just a lot of fun to watch play.
A lot of fun to be around, too. Always a vibrant personality in the dugout and off the field. Pelzer sends that one up high, and it's 3-0. And you mentioned it, Ian. Pelzer, those command issues have been prevalent in his 2 starts. 7 walks compared to 3 strikeouts. He's in danger of walking Duncan here. 3-0 on the way, and the lefty misses outside. It's a 4-pitch walk to the leadoff man for Newport.
And some of those pitches weren't particularly close. I mean, Duncan's a really hot hitter. You don't really mind walking him there, pitching around him, but it's kind of dangerous to do it to start the ball game.
And let's quickly go through that Newport batting order, Brendan.
Well, you just saw Andrew Duncan, Tyler Hare batting in the 2-hole, Dixon Williams and Randy Seymour in the 3 and 4 spots. DHing tonight is Nolan Stevens, Jake Burley catching behind the plate. Matt Alsenfort, the new transfer, headed to NC State next year. Jack Doyle and Musiaka batting in the 9-hole.
And the first pitch to Hare this time is a strike from Pelzer, painting that inside part of the zone. First strike thrown by the lefty tonight. After the 4-pitch walk to the leadoff man, Andrew Duncan. The 0-1 cut on and missed. It's quickly 0-2 to Tyler Hare.
Some late life on that pitch from Pelzer. The fastball here, especially tough in a left-on-left matchup for Hare. He's got to try to shorten up here. Go opposite field, but keep it off the ground.
0-2 pitch. Way up and in, almost struck Hare. He got out of the way. 1-2 the count. Tyler Hare hit his first home run of the summer at long last in the last home game Friday night here in that comeback victory against Bristol. The 1-2 pitch. Hare gets a hold of it, and it's fair down the right field line. It rolls all the way to the corner where Lizama has to track it down. Duncan being held up at third, and just now Lizama gets the throw in, a stand-up double for Tyler Hare, who's really finding his confidence. He's been waiting for that moment to get going. I think that home run on Friday night really sparked some renewed confidence in him.
Well, and you know, he's really grooving his swing now. He looked good in BP, and not all that dissimilar from the at-bat we saw with Lizama on the top of the first. Kind of a 2-2 count that taken inside and just turned on it towards the warehouse, and a stand-up double.
So now let's see what Dixon Williams can do, arguably the hottest hitter on this Newport team. I mean, he's batting .429 in his 9 games played so far. Takes a first pitch strike. He also had Saturday off at North Shore, so he hasn't played since Friday night here at Cardines. A well-rested Dixon Williams out of East Carolina. Here's the 0-1 from Pelzer, and it's shanked foul off to the left side by Williams.
This is the guy who's reached safely in all 9 games that he's played, and it's not just been singles either. Homer, 2 doubles already this season for Williams. That's why he's hitting here in the 3 spot. He provides that spark for this offense.
There you see the hitting coach, Ted Regan. Andrew Duncan doing a little bit of dancing in front of Regan over at third. This is a shot up the middle, and it gets by Pelzer. Zeisloft comes in on it. Duncan scores. Hare is behind him, and no throw to the plate. A 2 RBI single for Dixon Williams, who's been red hot ever since arriving to Newport, and the Gulls strike first early.
That's so well done from Williams. Down 0-2 in the count. He just takes that right up the middle and right back at Pelzer. Hair going the entire time as he got the send sign from Teddy Regan, and Gulls strike first, 2-0.
And talk here with Noah Boffman, the pitching coach in Pelzer. It's really tough for a pitcher when you get hit around quite a bit. 2 pieces of hard contact already after the leadoff walk. This is definitely just to settle him down. You don't want to pull your starting pitcher here in the first inning, but he's already doubled the amount of earned runs he's given up this year to the first 3 batters that he's faced in the inning.
It's not the ideal start in his 3rd appearance of the summer for Pelzer. We'll see if he can settle the storm a little bit. Runner on first, and Pelzer still seeking that first out of the inning with Randy Seymour, the cleanup hitter, at the plate. Seymour started every game this past spring for Michigan State in his sophomore season. And he goes swinging at the first pitch. That's a fair ball to Pelzer, who spins around and throws on target to Petrich. And finally, the first out arrives for Upper Valley.
A good bounce back right there. You just get him to tap one right back in front of the plate. And smooth play from Pelzer as well. That can be a tough play for a lefty. You have to spin, quickly throw to first. Tend to airmail those throws, but instead right on the money to Petrich.
That brings up Nolan Stevens, batting in the middle of the order tonight. He was dealing with a sickness that kept him out of Friday's game. He did play Saturday against North Shore and had a 2-for-4 performance, even though he's still feeling the effects of that sickness he's been battling. So he's in the DH spot tonight for the Gulls, with Brody Zako getting the night off, or at least as a starter. Swing and a miss on the first pitch, 0-1.
Well, and he still sounds it. Talking to him today on the field, he doesn't sound great, but he seems like he's ready, and obviously had that, I believe it was a double-digit game hitting streak.
Up
in the middle of June, and looking to continue that form, as he's been one of the best hitters.
The 0-1 pitch, that's down. Good take from Stevens to even up the count. Stevens, to your point, riding a 12-game hitting streak heading into today. He didn't record a hit in his first 2 games with the Gulls this summer, but in every game he's played since then, he's got on base with at least 1 hit. And plenty of multi-hit games like Saturday mixed in there. The heater outside, and it's now a 2-1 count.
Soft front foot, babe. Soft front foot. Here you go.
Pelzer waiting for the sign he wants from Carter Jagiella behind the dish. He gets it, glances at second, winds and deals, tipped into... No, it dropped out of the mitt of Jagiella, actually. Doesn't matter. Still a 2-2 count, and there you see it. Already the bullpen of Upper Valley active. It's Dalton Olsofsky of High Point getting loose, so the righty being asked to warm up right now, and we'll see if he'll be needed anytime soon for the Nighthawks.
I mean, this is not what you wanted. Even though you only used a handful of pitchers in that doubleheader against Vermont, you still played 2 ball games. That's 2 games worth of pitchers that you threw. So you want to conserve arms because you still have a few games in a row before the off day on the 4th.
2-2. Popped down the left field line. Tracking it is the third baseman, Trommer. Will it be playable? Not quite. That lands out of play. Obviously, here at Cardines Field, very minimal foul territory, so it's not often that you'll see a playable ball in foul ground, and Trommer found that out as he made his way towards the fence and couldn't play it.
Ran out of room real quick. Thought he might have had a chance over there. Thought it might have been for certain that he would catch that in a lot of places, but not here.
Cardines a bit different than your ordinary ballpark, and that might be a little bit of an understatement. So we'll do the 2-2 again. Runner taking off. It's a foul ball. So Williams will have to trot back over to second for the Gulls.
Good AB from Nolan here as he, from Stevens as he was down 1-2 and now fought off a ball and now 2 straight fouls, and he's trying to work the count here.
So how about a 2-2 pitch 3rd time through? Pelzer gets the sign, stares down Williams, fires to the plate, and it's down low. The count full on Nolan Stevens.
That's exactly what Stevens was looking for. A mistake by Pelzer, and now a chance to get aboard.
Stevens has drawn 5 walks this season, but 4 of them came in the same game at Ocean State 9 days ago. We'll see if he can draw one here or put it in play. Instead, it's a foul ball off to the left side, and I believe that's the first ball lost to America's Cup app tonight.
It's probably going to be several of those over the course of the ball game.
Every night we have a game here, there's a pretty high number of baseballs that end up out there. We just hope none of those actually make contact with a car. You never know. It is a busy road. Full count pitch again. Pelzer sends one in, and it's inside. A good take from Stevens to draw his 6th walk of the summer.
That's exceptionally well done from Stevens, battling a 9-pitch at bat. Down 1-2 in the count, fouling off at 4 or 5 pitches, eventually working his way to the walk, and now a chance for Matt Austinfort with 2 aboard to put some runners in a good spot or try to score one.
And it might just be the first inning, but that's the end of the line for Xavier Pelzer, who only goes 1/3 of an inning in one of the more short-lived starts you'll see. So a call to the bullpen being made, and we'll step aside for a quick moment here on ESPN Plus. We'll tell you who's the new pitcher on the hill for Upper Valley after a quick break. Make sure you keep it here. It's the Gulls with an early 2-0 lead.
Hey, we played.
Maybe like 6 to 8. We are back. A pitching change already here in the first inning of the ball game. And Ian, it's someone making his debut in Dalton Olsovsky for the Nighthawks.
That it is. Olsovsky out of Keller, Texas. He had a really solid season this season at High Point. 19 games out of the bullpen, 34 innings pitched, went 3-3 with a 6.62 ERA, but the big number, 36 strikeouts over 34 frames. And after coming over from the Panthers, who made a stint in the NCAA regionals after winning the Big South this past season, looking to bring that same kind of momentum here to the Nighthawks.
So Pelzer's start only lasts 1/3 of an inning. He faced the first 5 batters in the lineup, and now Olsovsky will pick things up on the hill for Upper Valley, facing the number 6 hitter, Jake Burley, doing the catching tonight for the Gulls with 2 runners on and 1 out. There will be a bullpen game for Upper Valley tonight. Olsovsky brings the heat, and it's fouled back by Burley on the first pitch he sees.
It's a little bit of a concern, too, because it was also planned to be a bullpen game tomorrow as well, so you just got to keep those arms rested, and Olsovsky might be leaned upon to go 3-4 innings even more.
As Ian mentioned, it was a doubleheader yesterday for Upper Valley. A successful one, but still plenty of arms used, while Newport ended up having the day off. The 0-1 to Burley. Olsovsky kicks and deals in the dirt, kept in front by Jagiella, and it's a 1-1 count.
Great chance here by Burley to try to get going in this, not exactly the season that he was, dreaming of, as he's batting under 200 in 8 games played, 182 with only 4 hits, but runner in scoring position, chance to get going.
1-1 down and away, and Jagiello wants to have a word with his pitcher Olsovsky to make sure they're just in sync with each other and on the same page, because obviously the last thing you want here if you're the Nighthawks in the first inning is make a bad situation go what could be a lot worse if Newport can capitalize on this opportunity with 2 runners on.
Absolutely. Thinking back to last year, Upper Valley really got crushed here in a doubleheader against Newport. Outscored 23-2 over the 2 ball games. Don't want that happening again here tonight.
Olsofsky trying to prevent that. Here's the 2-1. Fastball in the zone. And there's a strike to even it up on Jake Burley, the grad student out of Wake Forest, who previously played at Brown. His 3rd summer here with the Gulls.
That's really nice in a return from Olsofsky.
The righty stares down Dixon Williams, who's tiptoeing over at second. Olsofsky fires it in, and it's up high. Burley did well to hold up. The count now full.
Yeah, you get to hear the reaction from the Gulls dugout there. They knew how tough of a pitch that was to lay off.
A massive 3-2 offering coming up from the High Point product in Olsofsky. Here it is. Swing and a miss. And the first Upper Valley strikeout comes on the first batter Olsofsky faces for out number 2.
And delivering on that promise of strikeout stuff here, the first batter that he faces. Took him a long time to get the punch out, but finally you get the first strikeout of the ball game here, 2 away, and try to just get back quickly to the dugout here against Austinford.
And now here is Matt Austinford, who just announced the other day he is transferring from Vanderbilt to NC State. So a big congrats to Matt on that announcement as he cuts out the first pitch, 0-1.
It was amazing how quick it happened. We were here on Wednesday, and there was a gentleman in an NC State shirt talking to Matt before the game. And then on Friday, we asked where Matt was, and he was down in Raleigh checking out the campus, and today he's committed.
He is back just like that for Newport. And we'll be playing for a program that just made it to the College World Series in NC State. 0-1, and it's in the dirt to even up the count. Austinford only played in 6 games this past spring for Vanderbilt. So you have to think NC State, told him that he'll be a big part of their future plans. And Austinford was only a freshman this past year for Vanderbilt in the SEC, so still a lot of playing years in front of him. 1-1, Williams was taken off, but it's fouled back. So the runners will have to trot back. Williams to second and Stevens back to first.
That's a shame for Dixon Williams. He was at third base practically before the pitcher released that. Great jump. He timed that up beautifully, but Austinford fouls it back, and now he's back at second.
Williams always shifty on the base paths, already has 5 stolen bases this summer. Olsofsky shaking off a couple of signs, and time called right as Olsofsky was getting set. One and 2 count, 2 outs, 2 on. 2-0 Newport, bottom 1. Here's the pitch. This is a rocket out to right, and you can kiss it goodbye. Way over the fence and gone. It's a 3-run bomb for the first home run of the summer by Matt Austinford.
You think he's happy with this transfer?
I would say so.
There was no doubt about that one. A ball he just turned around and smoked. House behind right field might want to check their windows. They might have a busted pane of glass there, courtesy of Matt Austinford.
You could see as well the reaction of Lizama really told the story. He quickly looked up, cranked his neck up, didn't flinch more than that because he knew it was long gone. Austinford just batting 200 in 13 games coming into the day. That's gotta feel good for the left-handed batter who recently committed to NC State. 5-0 Newport, and we're still in the first. Jack Doyle now at the plate, the 8th batter of the inning. And at this rate, there's a chance we might run through the whole lineup here in the opening frame. Taken in the zone, a much-needed strike from Olsofsky, and now it's interesting to see how Dalton Olsofsky, in his first appearance of the summer for the Nighthawks, settles in.
It's tough to bounce back from that. A guy who did give up 8 homers this season in 34 innings. Those are with metal bats, though. The first shot you give up on wood, the first contact off of you really just goes that far out to right field, clears the tall wall and right. It's just got to settle back in, though, kind of write that off, just come back making quality pitches.
2-1 the count to Jack Doyle, who's been hot himself. Big swing and miss to make it 2-2. Doyle had a couple of hits on Saturday at North Shore. He's got that batting average above 200. He was really struggling for a while and also hit a home run on Friday night that seemed to reinvigorate him with some confidence at the plate. You can hear that off the bat loud and clear. Fry scoops it up and the shortstop fires over to first in time. And the first inning is finally one for the books, but not before Newport puts a 5 spot on the scoreboard, highlighted by a 3-run shot from Matt Ossenfort. We're back in a moment here on ESPN+.
Will Central are getting set for the first inning salute. I want to give a quick shout out to Matt Ossenfort for that home run that scored some of you guys' dog toys from both sides. But now we're proud to welcome Sergeant Tyler Jackson, a member of the U.S. Army, as tonight's first inning salute. He's accompanied by Director of Community Relations, Juliana McClendon. Jackson served in the U.S. Army from 2020 to 2023. Stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky in the 101st Air Division, he went on to become a sergeant, line team leader for the Joker Platoon, and has trained domestically and overseas with international military, including the Brazilian Army. Sergeant Jackson has accumulated many accolades, such as the Iron Sergeant Award, Good Conduct Medal, German Armed Forces Badge, and the Chief of Shore Badge. With honorably discharged in 2023 and is working towards joining the police force. Sergeant Jackson, thank you for your service.
We welcome you back to Cardines Field, top of the second inning. Alongside Brendan Locke, Andy and Vicky, I'm Sam Reese. We're so glad you're spending your Monday night with us here on ESPN+. And as you can see, just a fantastic crowd here on hand at Newport. A really fun atmosphere as usual, especially when the weather is nice here at Cardines. And Brendan, the fans with plenty to cheer about after this start for the Gulls.
Plenty to cheer about, and it's 4th of July week, Sam.
Oh, yeah.
Great crowd. Is there any place to be that's better than Newport, Rhode Island during the 4th of July? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. It's tough to beat, and Newport's next home game will be here on 4th of July night when the Keene Swamp Bats come to town. So we're on to the second, and Upper Valley facing an early uphill battle. It's the designated hitter batting in the 5-hole, Cole Fellows, who faces Coleman. Wastes no time with a crank out to center, and that drops in front of Andrew Duncan for a leadoff single. 1 pitch, 1 hit, and that's one way to start the inning if you're the Nighthawks.
Absolutely. After giving up 5 runs, you feel like you just got to get one here to feel good about your chances in this ball game. And for Cole Fellows, a guy that's been swinging the bat really well as of late, 3 hits in game 1 of the doubleheader against Vermont, just gets one off the end of the bat there. It's a flare out to center, but he'll take it. It's a line drive in his head.
That's not something you see very often in the center field for the Gulls.
Owen Petrich leaves for ball 1.
As that ball beat Andrew Duncan down to the ground. Not something that we see very often. He got kind of a slow break off of it.
Andrew Duncan has made some really good plays out in center field for the Gulls. Couldn't quite get to that one. Big swing and miss. Throw down the line by Burley, but back to the bag in time was Fellows. The count even to Owen Petrich, a rising junior at St. Joseph's. This is just his 5th game for the Nighthawks, as he was a late add to the Upper Valley roster. Became eligible on June 20th. 1-1 off the end of the bat. Williams running onto it, and the throw made in time for out number 1. Fellows is in the scoring position as he advances 90 feet.
It's a smart play from Williams over there. Knew he had no shot at second base. Could get a little bit greedy, try to force it and try to turn 2, but no shot there. Just take the sure out. It does move the runner over, but you got a 5-run cushion to work with after 1. You feel good about your spot in this game.
That introduces us to the bottom of the Upper Valley order. Michael Trommer at the plate. He wastes no time. Cracked out to center. Duncan moving onto it, I should say. And that time, it's an easy play for the center fielder for out number 2. And Fellows has no choice but to stay put at second.
This is a pretty efficient inning worked here right now by Coleman. A first pitch single, the first pitch ground out, maybe second pitch, and now a first pitch fly out to center. It's only taken him a handful of pitches here to get 2 quick outs, even after the leadoff base hit.
Well, I have to wonder if that was kind of a scouting report from Upper Valley, first pitch swinging.
It's been a key to their success recently. During the losing streak, they fell behind in counts, struck out a ton, so the message became swing early, because that might be the best pitch you get to hit.
Will Jagiella swing early? There's your answer, no, but it's a pitch that dips down in the zone for strike 1.
Jagiella, his first action since the 19th of June. That game against Bristol. Went on vacation, came back here. Also announced he's in the transfer portal, so looking for a new home next semester.
The 0-1. A fastball that just misses low. That one clocked in at 91.
Do you know where he went on vacation?
Did not ask, but I won't find that out.
Okay.
I know you're always interested in those type of things, Brendan. The 1-1 from Coleman. And
Nice
swing and a
pitch.
miss. Jagiella fell for it. That one down at 82 miles an hour. The off speed threw him off. Coleman looks at second where Fellows is a couple of times. Winds and deals, and that is strike 3 called. Jagiella can only stare down at his feet as he walks to the dugout empty-handed. So far, so good for Aiden Coleman. We roll on to the bottom of the second after a quick break.
You got me, higher, higher. You got me, on fire, fire. Every day, feeling like a holiday. You got me, you got me. Come with me.
We are back here in Newport. We thank you for tuning in here on ESPN Plus. Sam Reese alongside Brendan Locke and Ian Binky. A quick reminder that Launch Hydrate is the official sports drink of the NECBL on ESPN Plus. Launch Hydrate's unique formula helps athletes achieve peak performance at every critical moment, supporting improved focus, rapid hydration, and faster recovery. For orders and information, please visit launchhydrate.com. So the leadoff man in the second inning will be the number 9 hitter actually for the Gulls, and Carmelo Musakia, the only batter that we didn't see for Newport in the opening frame, in which Newport put 5 on the board. And he lets that go for a first pitch strike.
Now, Sam, you know that we don't use the term bottom of the lineup or 9 hitter here.
I guess you're right. Even if Breeny's
Please.
not there?
We're going to have to wait and see.
0-1 to Musakia. He holds up again, but it's another strike called on the inside corner.
With Musakia, you know he has talent, playing at a really big program, mid-major school in Northeastern, but always a threat in the CAA. 254 average with 3 homers in his sophomore year.
0-2. He lays off, and this time it pays off, down and outside. A ball and 2 strikes here in the bottom of the second. Musakia, the leadoff hitter, who joined the team a week ago. Started the summer with the Harwich Mariners in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Good contact off the bat here. 2-hopper to Fry, who off balance, throws over. It's out of the glove of Petrich. Musakia safe at first. The leadoff man is on for Newport. We take a look at the replay here. It was always going to be a bit of a tough play. And honestly, Ian, it seemed like it was almost bobbled on the transition for Fry, and that's what threw things off a little bit, as it was a bit rushed.
A little bit rushed, but it's going to go down as an E3 that time. Petrich really should have caught that ball, bounced right out of his glove. It's a costly mistake here because he could have out number one, but instead lineup card turns over. Man on, nobody out. Chance for another big inning.
So Musakia reaches on the error. Duncan with a second plate appearance takes ball one down low.
That was something that was a big piece of success for Upper Valley. They didn't make an error in that doubleheader against Vermont until the top of the 7th of game number 2. So some smooth defense, strong pitching, but so far tonight, haven't seen either of those.
Off speed, and Duncan watches that one go by. 2 balls and no strikes. Andrew Duncan was walked in the first inning before ultimately coming home on a 2 RBI single by Dixon Williams, which started the scoring in the first. Here's the 2-0 from Olsofsky. Swing and a miss up in the zone.
Needless swing there from Duncan. You can see him talking to Teddy Regan, just settle down, especially with Olsofsky having trouble locating. 13 strikes, 9 balls. That's a needless swing.
The Florida State product trying to make it 8 straight games with a hit. 2-2. That had good movement, but just upstairs, so I beg your pardon, a 3-1 count now. So Duncan has room to wiggle here with a hitter's count. And that fastball catches the inside part of the zone. Duncan did not agree. He was ready to walk his way down the line.
And he took a step as well, but had to backpedal back into the box here. Olsofsky working his way back into the count.
Here's the full count pitch from the righty. Looped foul, straight back by Duncan. So we'll do it all over again with Tyler Hare, the on-deck hitter for Newport.
Musaki was off on the run there. So full count pitch. I figure he was going to go to second. Tried for the stolen base, even if we got the strikeout from Duncan there. See if he goes again.
What will Olsofsky bring here? 3-2 once more. Off speed, got him swinging, and a throw down the line, which had to be snagged by Petrich, or else that ball could have escaped out to right field. The runner Musakia forced to hold up at first, and an important first out recorded by Olsofsky.
That's a really nice pitch to put away Duncan on the high fastball, and he went to that twice. That was what he got a strike with on the first strike. The high fastball that we were talking about, Duncan should have laid off, and then he returns and puts him away with that same pitch.
Here's Tyler Hare, who doubled in his first at-bat, and how about another hit for the red-hot Wofford product, and it escapes the legs of Luzama. It rolled through, and all the way to third goes Duncan. That allows Hare to get to second, and mistakes are what's costing Upper Valley here in the second inning. The Gulls have 2 runners in scoring position now and 1 out.
Yeah, it's happened a couple times out there in right field for Lizama this season. Balls just elude him out there. Didn't really take a tough hop, just tried to throw it before he had the ball. It got a little bit out of sync with him and stuck by him.
So it goes down as a single and advancement on the error. Hare already 2 for 2 tonight. The second team, I should say the All-NECBL second team selection last summer, is living up to his billing in the last couple of games now. Dixon Williams at the plate. Takes ball 1, and we all know what he did first time up. That was driving a couple of runs in this exact same scenario.
Not the guy that you want at the plate right now if you're Upper Valley.
Say that again. The 1-0 to Williams. Down low, blocked nicely by Jagiella. Could have easily gone through his legs. Williams up to 6 RBI now in his 10th game with Newport this summer. He starred last year for the Bethesda Big Train down in the Cal Ripken League.
Won the league title there as well.
He did. 2-0. And he lays off again. 3 balls, no strikes. Williams was actually named the MVP of the Big Train helping them sweep the Alexandria Aces, who Matt Austinfort, who hit that 3-run home run last inning, played for. So Dixon Williams and Matt Austinfort, who are teammates now in Newport, went head-to-head in the Cal Ripken League title series last summer.
Well, those two ball clubs always go at it. And the title championship the year prior went the other direction with the Aces sweeping the Big Tree.
Big cut and miss, and this is something Dixon Williams is known for, swinging at a 3-0 pitch. I don't have an exact tracker, but I think that's the 4th or 5th time already this summer that he swung at a 3-0. If he likes the pitch, he's going to go after it. We'll see if it pays off in the end, as Olsovsky kicks and deals, and there's a strike. So Olsovsky has worked his way back into it, the count all full.
Well, Williams kind of gave it to him. He's ahead 3-0, and he swings at that pitch that's outside the zone. Really surprising there from Dixon, especially with Olsovsky struggling to locate.
1 out, runners on second and third. 3-2 pitch on the way, and it skips in the dirt. The bases are loaded up now for Newport. So in the end, even though Williams swinging at that 3-0 pitch seemed like it could have backfired, he does ultimately earn his way to first.
I mean, it's something that's worked out for him. He still walked 10 times this year, only struck out 6. So you have that kind of plate approach where you have good command of the zone. When you're swinging, you feel confident that you can swing 3-0 if it's a one you can drive.
That brings up Randy Seymour, who grounded out in his first plate appearance last inning. The Gulls trying to do more damage here in the second already with a 5-0 lead, bottom second. And 1 out. First pitch on the way, taken upstairs. Ball 1 to Seymour, a native of Frankfort, Illinois. It's about 35 miles south of Chicago.
It's another guy who won a league title last summer.
Yes. In the Northern League with the Northwest Indiana Oilmen. He was named the championship MVP. As that's fouled to the backstop.
Well,
Seymour, I should just say quickly, Brendan, hit a home run in both championship series games last summer for the Oilmen.
there you go. I'm surprised he hasn't told us that yet.
He's a humble guy.
He is. He is.
The 1-1 to Seymour.
But the surprising thing about the Seymour is, you know, he's batting .235. He's kind of struggling at the plate a bit, but his defense has been so good. He has a .960 fielding percentage, and it's just his defense on the left side of the infield has been so good that you can't take him out of the lineup.
One of the better shortstops you'll see in the NECBL. He went after that pitch to no avail, 2-2.
Great chance to gain some confidence at the plate here with the bases loaded.
Seymour, despite batting at a 240 clip, does have 8 RBI this season. It's a golden opportunity with the bases loaded. 2-2 from Olsovsky. Popped sky high left field. Moving in is Pacheco. Also Fry, the shortstop, tracking it, and he gloves it for a big second out. All 3 runners have to stay put. Always difficult battling the shadows at this hour, and Fry did well to track it down for the out.
Yeah, I was keeping an eye on the umpires. There no infield fly called on that play as well. So Fry needed to make that catch. Was no guarantee. Really tough play, but made it look routine.
That brings up Nolan Stevens. 12 straight games with a hit for the rising sophomore at Mississippi State, and now would be a great time to extend that streak. Stevens, tonight's designated hitter. Olsovsky trying to get out of a jam. It starts right here.
Good.
Up high, ball 1. Stevens was walked in his first plate appearance last inning, so he does have that ability to stay disciplined in the batter's box, and that wouldn't be a bad result whatsoever for Newport if he can run up the count here. 1-0. Fouled to the backstop.
That was the pitch to hit right there. That was a fastball on the inside at 89, and Stevens just missed it.
perfect baseball weather on this Monday night in Newport. The 1-1 coming. Big swing and miss. And now Olsovsky is one strike away from getting out of this jam unscathed.
That's a big boost if you're able to do that, especially after 2 errors were made in this inning that made it really tough on you. If you could put up a 0 here, it could really spark something to at least settle things down on defense.
A big 1-2 pitch on the way. Olsovsky kicks and fires, and it's in the dirt. Quickly tracking it down was Jagiella, making sure that Musakia didn't think about heading towards home. He certainly contemplated it for a split second, but thought better. It's Williams at first, Hare at second, Musakia at third for Newport. Two count. The pitch to Stevens. That's way up high, slipped out from the get-go. Jagiella did well to adjust in real time. Full count. Olsovsky a strike away from getting out of this with no damage done. He's also a ball away from walking in a run. It might be early in the game, but an important pitch on the way. Here it is. Ball 4. It skips free from Jagiella, but doesn't matter because a walk sends in a free run for Newport. Musakia cruises home, and the Gulls now lead it 6-0 with the bases again loaded.
It's a great at-bat, work that time by Stevens. You know what's in the back of his mind, that he wants to keep the hit streak going, but if he doesn't get a pitch to hit, just work a walk. He's already walked twice tonight. This time, it drives in a run.
So with the bases again loaded, it's a great opportunity for Jake Burley now to add on to this lead. 1 run so far in the second after a 5-run first. Stevens at first, Williams at second, and Hare the runner at third for Newport. 1-0, and that's way outside. So already a hitter's count for Jake Burley.
Olsovsky already quickly approaching nearly 50 pitches on his debut tonight, but still struggling locating. 24 strikes, 22 balls.
2-0, big cut. And no luck for Burley, 2-1. Jake Burley, still no RBI actually this season, 8 games played. Has been walked just a couple of times. We'll see what he can do here. Olsovsky steps off, wants a reset. There's a great shot of just the crowd here at Cardines Field tonight. That's the crowd down the third base line. A whole lot of fans on tap as Burley pops it way high in the air. Zeisloft making a trot in and makes the catch. There's the third out. That long last for Upper Valley, but the Gulls do add another. It's a 6-0 ball game. The third inning coming up next. Stay tuned.
All right, here for our first contest of the night. I have and Ben and Mary with me for the donut. Brought to you by Donuts. Where are you? Adrian and Ben. Adrian and Ben. Adrian and Ben. All right, next 30 seconds to use much of the donut as they can. Winner goes up on the box. Get our count. 50, 2, let's go. Oh, she's just going. Like, holy crap. Yeah. I'm speechless with it. Counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, I think it's the contest. Oh, Lord.
As we go to the third inning, it's a great time to remind you that Netting Professionals is the official netting partner of the New England League. Their netting and wall padding products have been featured in Major League Baseball venues such as Citi Field and Truist Park, and many collegiate facilities throughout the country, including the universities of Florida, North Carolina, Binghamton, Texas, and many more. From design to fabrication to installation, Netting Pros is improving programs one facility at a time. All right, we head into the third inning of play here on ESPN Plus. Great vibes here at Cardines Field with an electric crowd on hand. And Brendan, Aiden Coleman hoping for more of the same in the third. He's been very solid so far.
Looked very solid. He got off to a bit of a shakier start than I think we were expecting. Had trouble locating, missed a couple of spots, and then he found that curveball that he located a handful of times and was able to kind of pitch backwards a bit, starting with off speed, trying to put hitters away with the heat. And that's exactly what he did. That curveball, he used it to get ahead 0-1 a handful of times in the previous 2 innings.
And he struck out Jagiella looking to end the second. And he now faces Luke Zeisloft, batting in the 9 spot tonight for Upper Valley. And the off-speed pitch is perfectly located for strike one, 72 miles an hour there from Coleman.
That slow looper is just so tough to sit on, especially hitters when you feel like you got to get the foot down on the fastball.
This time the heat, and Zeisloft fans on it, 0-2 just like that.
And now Coleman has Zeisloft guessing.
We'll see what the 0-2 is. Off the end of the bat, Zeisloft stays alive. That ball dribbled towards the Newport dugout. Again, both dugouts on the same side here at Cardines Field. One of the more major, unique aspects of this ballpark. And there's the beautiful off-speed stuff, 72 again, and Zeisloft down on strikes. Look at that.
Just drops out of the zone, but exactly what we saw. Opens him up at 72 with that curveball, up to 90, and then that third pitch of the at-bat is 80, and you're just guessing from there. And then when you have a curveball that drops out of the zone like that, there's not much that can be done.
Back to the top of the order, Chrisman swings at the first pitch, looping foul, and it lands out of play off to the right side. Austin Fort was giving it a chase, but in the end unplayable. Trey Chrisman, one of the later roster additions for Upper Valley, and he's been on a tear so far. A very, very useful addition, no doubt, for the Nighthawks as the fastball just misses the zone 1-1. Chrisman heading into the day, 7 games played, a .467 batting average.
Is that any good?
It's not bad.
I'd say it's pretty solid. 1-1, looped out to right center. Shifting his hair, and he makes the catch for out number 2, a quick 2 outs, and the theme of Aiden Coleman working quickly continues, Ian.
Absolutely, and he's taking advantage of these aggressive swings from Upper Valley. He's throwing pitches in the strike zone early in the count, but nothing over the middle. It's making competitive quality pitches throughout the at-bat, and it's been working well for him.
Ethan Lazama takes a first pitch swing, can't make contact, 0-1.
That's evidence right there. It's just a fastball right on the outside corner. Nothing he could do to catch up with it, even though he did get the green light to swing. Oh, well.
This time lays off, and the decision pays off. Down low, 1-1. Lazama spent his first 2 years of collegiate baseball at Gulf Coast State before playing at Western Kentucky this past year. Just a bit inside from Coleman, a 2-1 count on what was a borderline pitch. Cut on and miss, 2-2, and Coleman wasting really no time between pitches. You can tell he's in a groove, and this is the way he likes to roll.
Have to be thinking curveball.
Instead, he goes right down Broadway, and down looking goes Ethan Lazama. It's a 1-2-3 frame. Aiden Coleman's in the zone, and we head to the bottom of the third after this. It's 6-0 Newport.
In the Eisenberg School of Management, we really value experiential learning. By the end of their time here, the students have a portfolio that they can go out with and say, here's what I've done. Here's the clients that I've already worked for.
Our alumni are in constant engagement with our program, providing career guidance, insights, so all of our students are able to take advantage of an unparalleled alumni network before and after they graduate.
Your involvement with the school doesn't end when you graduate. We have a lot of UMass Amherst alums at Gillette Stadium. We know the type of employee we're going to get when we hire someone who's graduated from this program.
Welcome back to Cardines Field. It's the bottom of the third inning, and already the third pitcher of the game entering the contest for Upper Valley. It's Dylan McCarthy making his third appearance of the summer. It's truly a bullpen game tonight, Ian, for Upper Valley.
Well, McCarthy's first 2 appearances were starts, but he lasted just 3 innings in his debut, just 1 in his second outing. Now moves to the bullpen, comes in allowing 4 runs over his first 4 innings of work. 4 strikeouts, 4 walks as well. He loves the number 4, but he's also allowed 6 hits. So trying to calm that down here tonight. But for a Newport lineup that's already firing on all cylinders, 6 runs on 4 hits through the first 2 innings, it's going to be really tough to slow them down.
So
Also, it was his birthday yesterday.
Oh, there you go.
Hey,
Well,
yeah, we like that.
A belated happy birthday to Dylan McCarthy, the rising sophomore at George Mason, as we welcome you into the broadcast booth here at Cardines Field. Sam Reese alongside Brendan Locke and Upper Valley broadcaster Ian Binky. We're so glad you're joining us here on ESPN Plus tonight. And Brendan, the story of the game so far from a Newport perspective has been the offense getting going, and especially like a guy in Matt Austinford hitting that 3-run home run, who's struggled a little bit at the plate this season. That's been the theme lately. Friday night we saw Jack Doyle and Tyler Hare, 2 guys struggling with blasts, so that has to be promising if you're manager Mike Coombs.
Exactly. You got to love to see that. 2 bats that haven't been doing well, especially someone like Tyler Hare that we've seen is capable of putting up huge numbers, and now he's on a 3-game hitting streak and in really good shape. Same with Austinford. He's swinging the bat much better, obviously, with the home run today, and hopefully the Gulls can keep rolling.
Yeah, I just brought up Matt Austinford hitting that 3-run home run, and here is the second plate appearance for him. Hard to back up what he did first time up, but we'll see what the second act is. That one whizzes past Jagiella on the first pitch of the night for Dylan McCarthy out of the bullpen.
Dylan McCarthy, just 1 day into being 20 years old, throws 2 different fastballs, 4-seam and a 2-seam, along with a changeup and a slider.
That time he comes with the heat at 90 miles an hour, even too fast for Jagiella to handle. Inside 2-0 to Matt Austinford, the recent commit to NC State.
Talked to him this morning or this afternoon, and he said as soon as I got on campus, I knew.
Sometimes it's like that. He goes chasing at that pitch, 2-1.
And the Wolfpack are a program that's generated a lot of talent recently. You think about Tommy White, who started his career there before transferring to LSU. A lot of talent coming from NC State, and figure Austinford will fit right in.
2-1, skips in the dirt. Three balls and a strike. Matt Austinford played his high school ball down in Florida for Marjorie Stoneman Douglas and was ranked by Perfect Game as the number 10 first baseman in the entire nation out of high school. Chopper foul down the first base line. He was also named the second best first baseman in the state of Florida. Really a unique story. He's from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, but then played his high school ball down there in Florida. And in his senior year, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, where he played, went 29-0, and they were named national champions after an undefeated campaign. That's taken outside on the full count offering, and the leadoff man, Matt Austinford, is on with a walk.
5th walk of the game by Upper Valley pitchers.
And that's been a problem so far, Ian, since the start of the game, really.
Absolutely. We talked about Pelzer, how it was an issue. Olsovsky hadn't seen much out of him, but they proved to be much the same, and now the trend stays the same here with McCarthy. Needs to get back in the zone against Jack Doyle.
Jack Doyle lets it go down and away for ball one. In his first plate appearance, he grounded out. But again, it's Jack Doyle playing with a lot more confidence. Homered on Friday for his first blast of the season, and then a couple of hits on Saturday in a loss against North Shore. Fastball downstairs, 2-0.
Seems like McCarthy's just overthrowing the ball a little bit, and after a long period of time away, he didn't pitch. Hasn't pitched since the 19th. That game against Bristol, oddly enough, the last game for both pitcher and catcher was that ball game against the Blues.
Check swing, but Doyle went. So he went around 2-1. It was a wild pitch, so Austin Fort cruises into second as it escaped the grasp of Jagiella, who had to chase it down.
Looked like it was much the same there. He's just trying to get extra tick or two on his fastball. It's working, but he's losing quite a bit of his command with that as well. Just try to see him sit high 80s. That's plenty fine here. Plenty pitchers sit there, but you got to have command. 90s and wildness doesn't really work too well.
Yeah, because of that wildness, is a runner now in scoring position for the Gulls. 2-1 offering, swing and a miss.
That's a good return pitch from McCarthy, but still 4 strikes, 6 balls on the day, 10 pitches total. So the theme of the day has been Nighthawks struggling to find the zone, and that continues thus far.
Can McCarthy find the zone here? He kicks and fires. It skips in the dirt, blocked by the chest of Jagiella. Jack Doyle, who's at the plate, spent last summer down in West Virginia with the Bluefield Ridge Runners in the Appalachian League, where he batted .390 in 28 games played. And takes one up high on the full count pitch, so a couple of tough walks for McCarthy here to lead off the inning. 2 on, no outs here in the bottom of the third.
He's facing some really good hitters, so you got to tip your caps here to the Gulls because they're laying off some close pitches, but other ones aren't anywhere near the zone, and it's easy to take those. So McCarthy just has to settle in here. Again, it's been a long time since he's pitched, so you could have a little bit of rust in there. Just knock it off here. You got to knock it off quick because it's the 9-hole hitter, but every batter in this lineup hits.
And that's been a statement that's rung true for Newport really since the start of the season. The offense really hasn't been that much of an issue at all, as it's ball one dealt. Now, Saturday against North Shore was one of those rare instances where the offense was a bit sluggish and didn't score in that game until the 8th inning. It was 8-0 North Shore at one point, ended up being 8-3. But for the most part, up and down the lineup, they've delivered for Newport. It's been more of the bullpen that struggled in late game scenarios, as the 1-0 is framed nicely by Jagiella, but still outside.
That was 2 games in a row that we've seen the Gulls let up 8 runs, find themselves down 8-0.
Right.
On the game again on Friday, after the 2nd inning, and I'm not sure when in the proceedings that happened on Saturday, but
big cut and miss from Musakia. 2-1 now the count. And that's, I guess, a welcome change tonight for Newport, where instead of playing from behind in a deficit, as much as you know your offense is capable of getting you back in games, this time you're playing with some insurance and playing ahead, which the Gulls have done well in these situations throughout the season so far. That pitch down and away. 3-1 to Musakia, and McCarthy in danger of loading up the bases off of 3 walks to begin the inning.
And not exactly how I want to start, but Nighthawks, you talk about coming back from behind to get wins. The Nighthawks did just get their first win when falling behind, allowing the first run of the ball game, as there is ball 4. He walks the bases loaded. That came in game 2 against Vermont. They lost the first 8 games, most of them coming during that losing streak. But you finally get that win, but this would be the largest comeback win in quite some time for Upper Valley. Noah Boffman out there to talk with McCarthy.
And that deficit is it's a real possibility that it could get even greater for Upper Valley, considering the circumstance, Brendan. The 7, 8, 9 hitters all walk for Newport to begin the inning. Now you flip over the lineup card, and that's a troublesome sign if you're the Nighthawks, still with nobody out.
Well, it's the third inning, and this is Duncan's third at bat.
Yeah.
I mean, that you don't see or hear that very often, and he, I'm sure he's all thrilled to have that going for him, but this is not what the Nighthawks were looking for, and it's really been that the Nighthawks are falling behind in a lot of counts. First pitch balls have been the story so far for me, and it's just, it hasn't really, nothing's been easy, nothing's been efficient for Upper Valley thus far.
Well, McCarthy hoping to swiftly change that rhetoric around rather shortly, because it's Andrew Duncan at the plate. There you see assistant coach Jacob Williamson fighting the glare of the sun over at first base. First pitch to Duncan, and it dips down in the dirt for ball one. A walk and a strikeout so far for Duncan. Boy, would he love a hit here. Musaki on first, Doyle at second, Austin Ford at third. And that's taken up high. 2 balls, no strikes. And to your point, Brendan, it's Upper Valley hurting themselves by going down in the count early.
I don't think you're going to see a lot of Gulls swinging the bat unless it is just an absolutely golden pitch.
And to your point, Duncan lets that one breeze by, but this time a strike called by tonight's home plate umpire, Marvick Gomez. A borderline pitch there, and one of the fans in the crowd letting Mr. Gomez hear it a little bit. 2-1. And this time a strike on the inside part of the zone. So McCarthy locating the corners to get back into it.
Nice slider there right on the front door to Duncan to get back in the count here. You really need to get this out. You cannot let him reach base at any measure at all. You got to get the out.
Can Gomez answer that call here? 2-2. Popped up right side. That's veering well out of play. And that one lands onto America's Cup Ave. So the count stays put to Andrew Duncan. McCarthy waiting for the sign he wants and gets it. Sets up near the chest, kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. Duncan down swinging. And you mentioned how big that first out would be if McCarthy could get it. And there he goes, striking out the leadoff man for Newport.
He needed that, but it's only the start. Because you feel you're already down 6-0 in this ballgame. You can't afford to go down by much more, even if your offense is working well over these last few games. Because it just seems like on the other end, Coleman's in a groove. He's not going to get out of it real easy.
Tyler Hare now at the plate. And that's a first pitch strike to get ahead right away by McCarthy.
First one for him here in the outing.
Most of Cardines Field now covered by shade. There is a slimmer of sunlight still, but right as I say that, actually, the sun gets just about completely covered. The 0-1. And a good take from Hare to even it up. Tyler Hare decided to make the switch from number 18 to 31 on Friday night. And what did he do? He hit a home run the first time with his new number. Safe to say he'll be sticking with that 31 the rest of the season, I would presume. And 2 hits so far tonight. It's been working for him well. Another ball there from McCarthy, 2-1. Hare swapped numbers with pitcher Drew Blake, who was originally 31 on the roster. Now Blake, number 18, which he donned in his first start of the summer for Newport on Friday.
You guys superstitious?
I am not personally, no.
I'm a little stitious.
I'm very stitious.
Fair enough. And a good take again by Hare, just outside the zone, 3-1. I guess I'm slightly, nothing crazy.
You don't believe in anything. You don't believe in the announcers' drinks. You don't, there's no.
I guess I'm not fun, huh?
No.
3-1, and there's a 5-pitch walk, and it walks in another Newport run. Same story as last inning. Austin Ford steps on home plate, and the lead is now 7-0 for the Gulls.
Now, the announcer's jinx is absolutely true. The amount of times I've seen no-hitters broken up, even in the doubleheader, it didn't even go out over air, but calling the game with Vermont's broadcaster Josh Bartosik, he alluded to me like, oh yeah, this game's going really quick. Not even on air. Immediately afterwards, Upper Valley scores 6 runs in an inning. The game kind of slows down.
You see what I deal with down here?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Ball 1 to Dixon Williams. I will say, this summer so far has been getting me closer and closer to truly believing in the announcer's jinx. I'll admit that. I can turn a corner.
We've had about 4 separate instances,
maybe more,
that have been some jaw-dropping. Say one thing and then,
That's true.
Another one against Keene. Keene's broadcaster Sean Massa was saying, "Oh yeah, the pitcher throwing really well. Next pitch he throws, moonshot."
That's how it goes, right? 2-0 from McCarthy with 1 out to Dixon Williams. It's in the dirt. The control struggles continue for really all 3 Upper Valley pitchers tonight. It's a 3-0 count to Williams.
Once again, I just don't think you're going to see the Gulls take the bat off their shoulder very often.
With that being said, if there was a guy to swing at a 3-0, it would be Williams, as he showed last inning. Very intrigued to see what he does here. He lets it go, and ironically enough, it's a strike.
McCarthy's shown some good stuff. You saw it in the strikeout of Duncan, but it's just not getting the command that he needs to be effective.
Randy Seymour on deck, but first the 3-1 to Dixon Williams. Down low, in the dirt, and that walks in another Newport run. Jack Doyle jogs his way home, and it's now an 8-0 ball game. The lead just gets bigger and bigger for the Gulls here in the 3rd inning.
That's the 10th walk of the game for Newport.
And it's only the 3rd inning.
Yeah.
10th walk of the ball game, 5th here in this 3rd inning, is slipping away quicker and quicker for the Nighthawks.
Here's Randy Seymour for the Gulls. It's now, as the first pitch is a strike from McCarthy, 8 runs and on just 4 hits from the Gulls. So that's been the story of the game. Some freebies for Newport, and they'll take that any day of the week. The 0-1 to Seymour. Just outside, according to home plate umpire Marvick Gomez. So a 1-1 count, 1 out. Bases again loaded up. Williams at first, Hare at second, and Musakia 90 feet from home. Swing and a miss by Seymour. Who's 0 for 2 so far. Trying to change his fortunes this time around. The 1-2 on the way. Oh, and that one bounces, drills the umpire, I believe. Musakia takes off. The throw gets away from the pitcher, McCarthy. Hare will backpedal to third. He thought about coming home. Nonetheless, it's another run for Newport on a pitch that got away. It's 9-0 Gulls, and it gets more and more out of hand here in the 3rd.
And just wildness breeds wildness. And you see it right there, a pitch that absolutely handcuffed Jagiella, one that might have gone off the chest protector of Gomez. And then a compound error at the end of it nearly allowed another run to score, but fortunately for Upper Valley, Hare got the stop sign.
Now a 2-2 count. Williams at second, Hare at third now for the Gulls. And this is good contact off the bat. Deep center field, tracking it is Zeisloft, and he makes the catch. Runner tags from third, and Hare will score with ease. The double digits already put up on the scoreboard by Newport. It's a 10-0 lead, and this crowd's loving it.
And for a ball club that had some struggles recently to score runs, this is exactly what you wanted. And this is kind of similar to how Upper Valley got off their offensive schneid. They were shut out 13-0 by the Vermont Mountaineers, then come back, score 10 against Valley, 17 against Keene. And now Newport finding their swings, scoring 10 runs here in the first 3 innings of this ball game. The skid's officially over on the offensive side of things.
McCarthy, the third Upper Valley pitcher already in this game. And it doesn't seem to be getting any better for the Nighthawks. Here's Nolan Stevens, the 8th batter of the inning. And stop me if you've heard this again, ball 1 delivered on the first pitch to the designated hitter tonight out of Mississippi State, who's drawn a couple of walks.
I would just like to make sure that I A, can read, and B, that this is not a typo. It says McCarthy has a 53.73 ERA.
For the ball game.
On the day.
For the ball game, yeah. Well, that'll happen when you allow 4 runs, only record 2 outs.
Right.
So I can still read.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Thanks for keeping me in check, guys.
Great reading skills over there, Brendan.
Definitely not.
1-1 the count to Stevens. McCarthy winds and deals. It's another ball and a steal by Dixon Williams. He's always looking to claim that extra bag, and he's got it, his 6th stolen base of the season. He was, of course, known for stealing home this past spring a few weeks ago in the AAC tournament to win the game against Wichita State, which made SportsCenter 2-1 now to Stevens, and Williams has the opportunity to potentially steal home. I asked him when he arrived in Newport, is that something he'd think about? He said, oh yeah, if I'm on third, it's always going to be on my mind throughout the summer to maybe do it just one time.
Maybe not here in a 10-0 ball game, but if this was a 1-0 contest late in the ball game, definitely in the cards.
Oh yeah, Stevens to the right side. It's past the glove of Petrich. The hit streak continues for Nolan Stevens. That's 13 in a row with a knock, and it's the 2nd RBI of the game. Williams in for the 11th Newport run. It's the 5th of the frame, and Newport continues to roll along.
That's just more of the same from the Gulls as they keep things rolling here, and finally, Upper Valley arm up in the bullpen.
It's Jacob Price starting to loosen.
So we'll keep an eye on that. And as you see Price getting loose, and Jake Burley, the last batter to not step up this inning. And that's bobbled at first by Traumer, the throw in time nonetheless, much to the relief of the Nighthawks. And the inning is finally in the books. But Newport scores 5 more here in the 3rd. It's 11-0 goals in front. Ian Binke will take over on the play-by-play after this. Stay tuned.
Let's get right into it. All right, DJ. Hit it. Okay, count up to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Union, who's going to be the big tonight? Let's see it. Hey, Billy. Is that it? That's it. We got it right here. Good over the 99 gift card. Thanks for playing, everybody. Your attention, please. Due to unforeseen circumstances, we did not reach.
The month of July kicking off with a bang for this Newport offense. You see home plate right there. They've already touched it 11 times through 3 innings. The score 11-0 Newport over Upper Valley after 3 full. Ian Binke, Sam Reese, and Brendan Locke with you. And it's just everything working for Newport, but especially the walks. They've only got 5 hits, and you look at last inning, 5 runs, just 1 hit necessary because of how many free passes they've worked.
Well, double-digit walks, and that's extremely hard to keep track of and keep, the damage limited if you're Upper Valley. McCarthy with a 45 ERA in his appearance in his 1 inning. Upper Valley's gone through 3 pitchers in those 3 innings. Newport, every single Newport batter has had an at-bat every single inning. So 3 at-bats, 3 innings for all Newport batters thus far. And it's been all Gulls thus far.
Also, can't be remiss to say that Aiden Coleman's having a fantastic outing as well. 3 strikeouts with 3 innings, scattering 2 hits here. Does face DJ Pacheco to lead things off. The first offering a swing and a miss. Went to the breaking ball at 75.
I am intrigued to see how long Coleman goes, considering the scoreline, but the way he's dealing, why not just keep him rolling out there?
Strike 2 to Pacheco, and Mike Coombs also an old-fashioned manager. He'll leave a guy out there if he's pitching really well, and that's what you can see here out of Aiden Coleman.
Yeah, Coombs a guy who usually likes his starters, ideally, to go at least 6 innings.
Breaking ball bounces in.
Especially if you can save a couple of bullpen arms by having Coleman go deep into a game. By working quickly and efficiently, then Coombs is going to let him go as far as he can go.
Another one bounces in, a high bounce off the catcher's mask of Burley, no matter, there's nobody on. On deck batter Cole Fellows goes to pick it up. Two balls and 2 strikes to Pacheco, leadoff man in the 4th. Another one below the zone.
Three straight spikes for Coleman, and this could legitimately just be a case of being cold out of the dugout.
And a high fly ball out to right field, drifting over. Tyler Hare running out of room out there, but right in front of the wall makes the catch. Quickly one down here, and you look at the scoreline, it might be a little bit surprising, especially for an Upper Valley team that had been working well in offense the last few games, but you look back at the historical series of matchups between these two ball clubs, it's been all Newport. They lead the all-time series 10-3. They've won each of the last 7 meetings between these two ball clubs as Garrick Fry gets ahead 1-0. And it's just been more and more the same here tonight.
More and more of the same tonight, and it's tough for the Nighthawks because you're coming off, a lot of momentum, sweeping Vermont yesterday, 4-game win streak.
Fouled off to the left. Okay, the last win for Upper Valley came here at Cardines on July 2nd, 2018. That was, again, in a game 2 of a doubleheader. The splintered bat over to third base. Tough play for Williams. Comes, scoops, throw across in time to beat out Fry. That's a really nice play.
That's a great play. The left side of the Newport infield has so much range. Williams at 6'1", Seymour at 6'4", 6'5", and they are just so long, so lanky, and can make so many plays. So tough to get a grounder through that left side.
The last time Upper Valley won a 9-inning ball game between these two clubs, back in 2017. July 8th of that year, Upper Valley 11-4 win. Team record 7 doubles in that ball game.
I was in the 8th grade.
Cole Fellows chops this foul.
Freshman year for me.
A pair of future major leaguers in that ball game as well. For Upper Valley, Ryan Jeffers was behind the plate. And for Newport, J.J. Blade, who also got a shutout here at Cardines earlier on in the ball game, also slotted in the lineup. Bounces in, just missed Fellows in the batter's box.
Pretty cool to kind of look back at moments like that in the history of the NECBL, not even too long ago, and to see 2 players involved in that game now playing on the bright stage.
Hard liner by Fellows, just over the outreach glove of Jack Doyle into right center. Picked up by Hare. Fellows wants 2. The throw in is off the line, and Cole Fellows has extra bases. Multi-hit effort for Cole Fellows. He's been a bright spot on the offense for Upper Valley. 3 hits for the Nighthawks, 2 of them off of his bat.
Just really solid contact off the bat as we see the replay there. Just hit with a ton of velocity right away, and was always going to make it a tough play to make for any infielder, and that was hit high enough as well that it dipped down to the outfield where you knew kind of right away that it was an extra base opportunity for Fellows. And you're right, Ian, he's the one guy offensively that's delivering tonight for Upper Valley.
thinking too right out of the box. The second double of his season. Petric swings first pitch, pops one to the right side, running in Hare to make the catch, and it really is just a footnote in the inning. The double for Fellows, but he's stranded in scoring position. Still 11-0 for the Newport Gulls on the ESPN+.
At the time I was a firefighter in Little Compton, and I was teaching a lot of classes, and being up there at 330 pounds was somewhat hypocritical. South Coast Health was excellent in providing the tools and the opportunities. You're retaught to eat after the surgery. It was exciting to finally know that I was getting to where I wanted to be. Having kids, a 9-year-old son, it makes me feel really good that I'm in better shape to enjoy his childhood with him. I'm very happy. Very happy.
We head to the bottom of the fourth here. Dylan McCarthy's still out there for Upper Valley. They want him to chew up some innings. It was a rough go of things in his first inning of work. Walked 5 batters, allowed 5 runs, but you're in a spot where you've already used 3 arms. That was your plan today, to just use 3 for the entire ball game. So now you just need McCarthy to give you some kind of depth here, even though you do have some action going in the bullpen.
I mean, it's a strategy that makes sense for Upper Valley, and looking at it from, with light at the end of the tunnel for McCarthy, you do enter this brand new inning with a fresh slate, so a chance to kind of settle back in. And right as I say that, that one was, I don't know where that was heading in the end.
I don't even know where it went.
Yeah, I think it was firing at our I believe at camera number 6.
Yeah.
Back behind the plate.
Bob Euchre would have said just a bit outside.
Just a bit
Tried to paint the corner and missed, but it came back in with strike 1 there on the foul ball.
Good recovery, I have to say.
Yeah. That's more like it from McCarthy. As that ball was still loose out there, Lizama flipped it away. Ball on a strike now to Austin Fort. That one bounces in. But you mentioned it, Brendan. You'll have all 9 batters to the plate at least 3 times here in the conclusion of this 4th inning. And that's assuming they go up, 3 down.
That's unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
You could have a 4th at-bat potentially for Andrew Duncan if anyone reaches.
Not a lot of empty spots on that side of the scorecard, it has to be said.
7 of 9 have already reached base at least once. And Austin Fort tacks on another walk to his resume tonight. They pitched around him after that first inning homer. It's 2 straight walks since then for the newly minted member of the Wolfpack. It's another shot here for Jack Doyle. He's officially 0 for 1, walked and scored, as so many goals did in the 3rd. First pitch to Doyle, clocks in at 80 on the changeup, inside half for a called strike. Bouncing in. That walk for Doyle, he's got his on-base streak now to 6 games. It's a good start there for Doyle.
Really playing with some momentum right now, getting a confidence boost from that home run as well.
Below the zone, 2-1.
I didn't know that Doyle was a hockey player.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a guy right here. Bay State All-Conference, All-Star.
All right, it took till the 4th inning for you to mention hockey. So there you go.
There you go. I believe we made it to the 5th or 6th last week.
Free agency frenzy today.
Yeah. Oh, massive.
A lot of stuff happening.
Although haven't signed Swayman yet, which is concerning. A growing concern.
Up high for ball 4. deja vu all over again. 2 straight walks to start the inning for both Austin Fort and Jack Doyle. I will say Blades the Bruin is here. You could go tell him to extend him.
Yeah, I could go get in contact with Blade. Get in contact with Don Sweeney via Blades Bruin.
Pitching change for Upper Valley. We'll tell you all about it when we come back.
College baseball. College softball's hard, but like on the ball.
Your attention, please.
I know. I agree. I'm not so sure. I think college softball is harder than high school baseball. 100%. 100%. Like college, I know baseball. Now pro softball, college baseball, USA softball, it's harder to hit. USA softball is harder to hit out there than college. But if you put MLB.
Welcome back here to NECBL Baseball on the ESPN Plus. It was a rough go of things for Dylan McCarthy, to say the least. He walked 7 batters in just over an inning of work. Now he gives way to Jacob Price.
I mean, it is interesting. We're only in the 4th inning of play, as our PA announcer gives us a good laugh on the side here during our break. We love Don. But yeah, Jacob Price, already the 4th pitcher, and you were telling me during the break as well, Ian, that the Nighthawks are very quickly running out of arms to use, and that's a very real concern for Upper Valley, especially in a game where you're down 11-0, and you don't want to waste too many arms in a game like this, but you also have to find a way to somehow get through this game.
And you do have another game tomorrow as well, so you got to keep that in the back of your mind. Just one more available arm in the bullpen. That's Nate Kreider, who actually pitched yesterday, pitched an inning, but still available. Those are the names that Matt Paw has listed as available to work today. Could maybe double dip with someone else potentially, but attention now on Jacob Price, the rising junior out of Kentucky. 4 games so far this season, a mixed bag of results, 0-1 with a 9.64 ERA, but looked pretty decent against Vermont. He was hit around a little bit, gave up a run on 2 hits, but did strike out 2, and that was also a game where Vermont scored 13 runs. So you hold them to just 1 run over an inning of work, that's serviceable, and you figure maybe get 2 innings here out of Price. That's just what you're looking for.
Well, just on that point of the bullpen and running out of arms, you mentioned that they were supposed to have Upper Valley was supposed to have a bullpen game tomorrow.
Yes.
Maybe a change in plans.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the plan is tomorrow. Maybe
to be determined. I guess we can list the starter as tomorrow, at least for right now. First pitch from the new arm at 86 of Price inside to Misakia. Misaki, aggressive approach there, swings, pops foul. Misaki down here at the bottom of the lineup. Officially 0 for 1, but reached on the error in his lone official at bat and also walked, has scored twice. Tagged up the middle, chance to turn 2, 6-4, 3 for the double play. The twin killing puts the first 2 outs on the board here in the 4th.
Oh, that's just what you needed, really. If you're Upper Valley, new pitcher coming in at Jacob Price. You don't want it to go even more downhill if you're the Nighthawks. So the perfect scenario, really, turning 2. All of a sudden, you're so close to getting out of this inning much more comfortably than it looked like it was going to be.
A little bit of trouble getting the ball out of the glove for Garrick Fry, but just a small delay in getting the 2 outs. 4th opportunity for Andrew Duncan, a swing and a miss for strike 1.
And here we have it. Andrew Duncan, 4th inning, 4th plate appearance.
Guy who was drafted in the 19th round in 2023 out of high school. Taken 10 picks before an Upper Valley Nighthawk alum, Ryan Gnolfo. He was drafted in the 20th round by the Miami Marlins, still in the Marlins system because he signed. Duncan did not. Chose to attend Florida State instead.
You nearly aged yourself with the Florida Marlins.
Yes, nearly. Caught myself. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Good stuff out of the bullpen for Jacob Price. He strikes out a one batter, grounds a double play as well as we go into the 5th here on ESPN+.
Don't stay in forward waiting for Gully to make his way to second. I have Johnny and Patrick on the field with me for the Twitch Electric base race. Never mind, Gully's going to go to second. Whoever wants to make it back to home wins. Oh, and please do not tackle Gully Jr. He is precious and he is my friend. All right, Gulls fans, count down with me. 3, 2, 1, go! And we're off. I just want to hook those structures for the early lead. A commanding lead at that point. Oh, here we go. Here he comes. And we have our winner. With a time of about 26 seconds.
Oh, the base race just wrapping up here, and that was a slaughter.
Yeah, I mean this poor kid in the yellow. You know, shout out to our T-shirt giveaway. A lot of yellow in the stands, but not the greatest showing from this kid here.
Dare I say a slaughter similar to the one we're seeing in this game, Ian?
I don't
Sorry,
think
I had to go
all
there.
that dissimilar.
Well,
I think that's fair.
The good news is Upper Valley finally held Newport off the scoreboard there in the bottom of the 4th. Jacob Price comes in, looked really good, really the best we've seen him so far this season. The ground ball double play and the strikeout, faced 2 batters to record 3 outs. That's not a bad line of work there in his first appearance.
No, you love to see that if you're Upper Valley. I mean, again, considering the situation where you hit the nail on the head, it was deja vu all over again for McCarthy to begin that inning. And then for Price to go in, settle the storm, turning a double play, and then recording a strikeout. That's massive because this could have got real ugly. It's already ugly at 11-0, but to hold Newport off the scoreboard that inning goes a long way, I think.
It was to spin 2 out of there, and it looked like for a moment that as Fry was trying to get that ball out of his glove, he may have had a little bit of an issue, and you said, oh boy, here we go again. But they were able to spin 2 and prevent Austin Fort from coming home as Duncan struck out to end the inning.
It's Michael Trummer leading things off for Upper Valley. It's 7-8-9. Ben's in 4, strike 1. You look at it, Traumer, Jagiella, Zaisov coming to the plate for just the 2nd time. Meanwhile, the bottom part of the order for Newport already hit 3 times. The lineup card turned over, the 4th trip to the plate for the leadoff man in Duncan.
Where do you guys stand on the turquoise and pink bat?
I think it's unique. I wouldn't go with it myself, but it is a bit bold and stands out, I would say.
It's the bats that we were given. So,
okay.
Really?
Yes. Those are the bats.
Gotcha.
Has everybody been using those and I just haven't been paying attention?
Not every. I know Ethan Lazama has been using those, and the man on deck, Carter Jagiella, as well.
Yeah, clearly I haven't been paying attention.
It's a style choice as it's popped up on the infield. Bunch of goals converging. Nobody could find it. Finally called off, and a leaping effort from that Austin Fort on the mound to make the catch. That was an adventure, but it just goes down as a routine pop out to first.
Textbook play by the Gulls.
Just how you draw it up.
We can take a look at the replay here. You're right, Ian. I mean, there was a flock of goals. Really, the whole, no pun intended, the whole infield converging on that one. And Austin Fort did well to keep focus. I mean, he overstepped it by 1 step and then recovered nicely.
Get this guy
Austin Fort did not run so far away.
Hey, you should have saw it at North Shore on Saturday. There were actual goals flying in the outfield during the game.
Another pop-up on the infield. This time it's the pitcher and Coleman taking it himself. I'm bummed you missed my flock of seagulls punt.
We do have seagulls in Newport, too.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, there were actual seagulls like all over the field there at Frazier Field. It was pretty electric. They had to stop the game at the start of one inning because three of them were like eating food in the infield. Yeah, wow. Jack Doyle had to chase one out of there.
Oh my God! Well, that's a proper South Shore lad. He knows his way around a seagull or two.
First pitch fastball at 90 in for a strike to Zeisloff, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. And this goes off the end of the bat into right center field. Tyler Hare camps under it, and it's a quick 3-up, 3-down inning for Aiden Coleman. He's through 5 scoreless, cruising out there on the mound. The bat's coming back to the plate for Newport on ESPN+. The YMCA cranking full volume here at Cardines Field, historic Cardines Field in Newport, Rhode Island. And right before they started this tune, they also announced the winners of the furthest traveled fan here, which is one of my favorite promotions going on here. If Ethan Lazama was allowed to register, he might have won by default, but instead it goes to a fan and a worthy prize.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that too. Furthest traveler, always something. Every home game that I'm on the edge of my seat waiting to hear where they came from. They also posted on social media after the game a picture of them with their prize pack. And I'll tell you what, it's incredible how far people come from. It shows you that Newport is, a really cool summer destination. And with Cardines Field really being in the heart of it all, a lot of people just want to check out what's going on here at historic Cardines Field. So you really get a diverse crowd here, which is one of my favorite aspects of enjoying a ball game here in Newport, Ian.
And I believe last year for the Upper Valley doubleheader, I believe the winners were from France last year.
There you go.
So you get a little bit of everything. Sometimes you get someone coming from the West Coast in California, but other times it's that international flavor.
Oh, yeah.
Fourth trip to the plate for Tyler Hare to lead things off in the bottom of the fifth.
I'm just laughing at going from the YMCA to Tyler Hare's walk-up song.
Not quite the smoothest transition.
No.
Big bender in there for Price for strike 2. Good chance here for Price to kind of right the ship. He's had a tough go of things so far this season, but this kind of ball game, it's one that you can get your season back on the right track.
Exactly right. Forget the score. Just focus on yourself if you're Jacob Price here and what you can do on the mound.
It's fouled off by Hare to stay alive. Pitch that jammed him. Pitch that did touch 90 that time from Price, fastest we've seen out of him this season. Here today, 2 for 2 with the walk. He's back in the count here, 2-2. Ring him up. Nasty breaking ball for Jacob Price. That's his second strikeout in just 3 batters' face.
Oh, his stuff is working. I mean, that was kind of a bit of a bold decision to go to on the 2-strike pitch, but it certainly fooled Hare, and that's the first time Tyler Hare has failed to reach base tonight. Filthy stuff from Price on the hill.
Well, Price is start, and the first pitcher that we've really seen trying to find a little bit of success against the Gulls.
But back to the big bender in there for strike one to Dixon Williams, another batter that is yet to be put away by Upper Valley pitching tonight, 1 for 1 with a pair of walks. Fastball down and away. Grounder to the right side. Scooped up by Chrisman. The throw quickly over to first. And there's 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th.
A welcome change for Upper Valley defensively. Working a quick 2 outs. A chance at a 1-2-3 frame. And they've been far from it so far this game. So that would certainly be welcoming for the Nighthawks. Just in terms of the pitching staff, and you don't want to go much deeper than Price as it is, and we're still only in the 5th.
Randy Seymour here swings at the first offering, fouled over our heads and over towards the firehouse.
Yeah, it looked like that landed in the top row. Lucky fan claiming that ball. There aren't too many foul balls that you can actually get as a fan here, just because of the nature of Cardines with where the netting goes and how a lot of balls go out of play.
I almost got one last game.
You did. Working the camera there on the dugout. I mean, that was a close call.
It was literally probably 3 feet in front of my face, just right by.
Grounded through the left side, picked up, and the off-balance throw is not in time. That was a valiant effort from Fry, the stretch from Petrich, but an infield single for Randy Seymour.
That one hit very deep into the infield. We take a look at the replay here. You're right, Fry backhanding it there, got it over as quick as he possibly could, but Seymour with a hustle out of the box to make sure he got there in time, and that's just a good piece of base hitting from Seymour, who had that sac fly in the 3rd, but there's his first time getting on base tonight.
Nolan Stevens now, who has reached base all 3 trips. Only the opposite of how Dixon Williams started his day. He started with 2 walks, then a single in the 3rd. Hard grounder just past the leap of Seymour at first base. It's another hard hit single. This time it does get into the outfield, though, for Nolan Stevens.
Nolan Stevens, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Brendan, he's unreal. Now, another multi-hit game for him. Never mind Stevens extending his hit streak to 13, but a lot of these games he's tallying multiple hits.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much fun to watch, and talking to him, getting to know him in the past couple of weeks and kind of seeing the way he operates before games and stuff. He was so angry with himself with how he started. I believe he didn't get hit in his first 4 or 5 games, certainly within the first week. And since then, it has just been an extravaganza. Multiple 2-hit games, a 3-hit game, handful of home runs. It's been pretty unbelievable to watch.
For a guy who was a top 100 player in the class of 2023, now really rounding into form. Pitch is outside on the breaking ball. 2-1 the count to the catcher, Burley. He's 0 for 3.
He's the only player who hasn't reached base yet.
But he's in the driver's seat here, 3-1. Burley trying to complete the circuit, make it so all 9 goals have reached base safely. He does so on a 5-pitch walk. Loads the bases here for Austin Fort.
Well, I guess I spoke too soon about how well the inning started for Upper Valley, Ian.
Announcer's jinx. We're telling you.
That, honestly, it was on display there, I got to admit. I'll admit it myself. And all of a sudden, it's once again bases loaded for Newport after the first 2 batters were retired this inning.
And it's for Austin Fort, who had that homer in the first inning. Since then, 2 straight walks. Does take a first pitch strike right down America's Cup Avenue.
I like what you did there.
Breaking ball misses low.
Ian, what do you know about the America's Cup?
Sailing.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. It's the best trophy in sports, if I may add.
That's my extent of knowledge. Boats. Nasty breaking ball for strike 2.
Water.
Yeah, water.
New York Yacht Club, right down the street from us, won every single... Oh.
Flight out into shallow center. Zeisloff racing in to make the catch. Another inning without scoring for Newport. They strand the bases loaded this time. As we go to the 6th, they still lead by a healthy margin.
This is the last call.
All right, as I get to over this way, I'm here with our 3 Discover Newport further travelers, and they're going to play some trivia. So I'm going to ask them one question with a numerical answer. Price is Right rules. Closest without going over wins, unless you all go over and we'll just do one. So, in all honesty, I thought we were playing Vermont tonight, so the trivia question's about Vermont. My bad. What percent of U.S. maple syrup production originated from Vermont? There's no clear maple syrup. I think a lot of people do. So what percent of maple syrup production in the U.S. came from Vermont? Yeah. Not bad. The right answer is 49. So, all right, right here. Vermont put out 3.5
Tons of fans out here for this ball game. Family-friendly atmosphere as in every NECBL ballpark, but especially here at Cardines Field. It's a discussion ensuing between Matt Paws and several of the umpires here. There was also a discussion by the Newport dugout as well. Not sure what the discussion is here. Doesn't seem to be a change or anything that's been made, but maybe discussing dinner plans, something afterwards here with an 11-0 deficit for the Nighthawks.
That's my best guess, Ian. I honestly couldn't tell you what exactly that entailed. Considering the 11-0 scoreline, I'm not sure there's any reason for either side to get a bit heated about anything. So, yeah, your guess is as good as mine. Maybe it's those dinner plans later.
Still Aiden Coleman out there for Newport, and really you wouldn't want to turn to anyone else. He's on just 3 hits so far through 5 innings. Be the 3rd time facing the top of the order here, and really hardly any hard contact at all aside from maybe that double from Cole Fellows.
Well, there hasn't been a lot, but interested to see how Newport, and I have a feeling Mike Coombs is saying within the dugout right now is, hey guys, we came back from a game down 8-0 after the 2nd inning. Just do your job. Stay locked in. Don't do anything outrageous. Don't do anything out of the ordinary.
2 hopper to short. Glove by Seymour, the throw to first. Beats out Crispin. 1 pitch, 1 down here on the top of the 6th.
That'll play. And at this rate, Coleman well on track to get through 6 innings. I would have to think that's it for him after 6. We did see Jackson Tier, who's unfortunately no longer with the Gulls this summer. He went 7 in one of his starts at Mystic, I want to say. So manager Mike Coombs has had a starter go 7. I don't know if Coleman would go that far.
First pitch is right down the heart to Ethan Lazama, who doubled in the 1st. That was another piece of hard contact, but struck out looking his 2nd trip in the 3rd. That just missed, a tad low.
Now, did he grow up in Guam, or was he just born in Guam?
He grew up in Guam. Wow. Still lives there as well.
Really?
About to head back home to Guam soon, actually, to visit his folks.
Unbelievable.
5-sport athlete in high school as well.
What?
5-sport athlete.
Wow. How does that work?
Fights that one off. I'm not sure exactly how the seasons would have aligned, but in addition to baseball, played football, basketball, soccer, and volleyball.
I mean, that feels...
Can't imagine what that practice schedule was like.
Yeah, I mean, is school 365 days a year in Guam?
Even then, not sure there's enough time. He just gets a piece of that to stay alive.
Also, like, on something like that, How many other high schools are you playing?
It's also true.
There can't be a lot of high schools on. Are you like? Or is it like Martha's Vineyard? You're getting on the ferry every day to go play other teams.
Some big rivalries, though, I'm sure.
Yeah, I want to learn about that now.
Hardliner foul. We'll do the 1-2 again.
The biggest high school rivalries in Guam.
In Guam.
We could ask Ethan himself. I'm sure Ian's right. There's got to be some rivalries out there.
Grounded to short. There's Seymour. The throw is a little bit low, but stretch from Ossenfort. 2 straight ground outs to Seymour to start the 6th.
And the trend of Coleman working quickly just continues. It doesn't matter how far into the game he's going. I mean, inning after inning, he's having very few issues. It's been another very impressive outing for the San Antonio native.
It's DJ Pacheco now. First pitch up and in, just missed his elbow.
Nearly an announcer's jinx there.
Nearly. Not quite. He saved you this time.
Thanks, Aiden.
That fastball at 90 misses low. He's still got the velocity, still sitting right around the 90-mile-per-hour mark. Hasn't lost any steam on that fastball.
Allegedly, there are 6 high schools on Guam.
Okay. That's enough for a small conference.
Yeah.
You're not playing the same school every day. Maybe every other week, but still.
I mean, still 5 sports. That's unbelievable.
2-1 skips in. That was just pitch 70 for Coleman. So depending on where his innings pitch limits are, you could see him come back out for the 7th.
True. I think it's a real possibility.
Fastball at the knees. To run the count full, Pacheco thought it was low, but brought up nicely by Burley to get the call. Payoff pitch to Pacheco is in the dirt for ball 4. That is just the first walk allowed by Aiden Coleman. It comes here in the 6th.
I mean, heading into the day, he only had 4 walks and 13 in the 3rd innings of work in his first 3 starts. So he's a pitcher who rarely gives a freebie, but finally showed that he's human after all against Pacheco.
He's walked just 1. Upper Valley pitching has walked 12.
Yeah.
As a looping liner that just bounces to the left of third base bag for foul ball.
Are we sure that was foul?
Well, the home plate umpire made the call that it was foul. That's the opinion that matters.
That's true. That's true.
That was almost...
I looked at I thought it may have gone down, but...
That was about 100 feet closer to home plate, but almost the same, at least left-right location of Garrick Fry's walk-off RBI single game 2 against Vermont. One that I didn't get a good look at because the press box at Maxfield Sports Complex down the third base line. But everyone else was debating whether it was fair or foul. Popped up left side, hooking, and gets out of play, out onto America's Cup Avenue.
My favorite part about the ball going to America's Cup Avenue is everyone looks over the rail up there on the top bleacher, seeing where that ball exactly landed.
High fastball for ball 1. That one had some height, probably bounced at least a couple times. Get some distance on it. Ring him up. Got him looking at the fastball. Coleman still dealing. We could see him come out for the 7th, but that remains to be seen. When we come back, Sean Reese takes you the rest of the way home. Don't make a liar out of me. I still got another half inning here. That means I got a second shot to get your name right. Sam Reese, and we're on the call here. Sam Reese and Brendan Locke here on the ESPN Plus broadcast of NECBL baseball. And Jacob Price is still out there. This has turned into really an extended outing for him out there, and this is just what Upper Valley needed. They need him to go some innings here, probably 3 innings at the very minimum as the lights in full effect here at Cardines Field. It's getting late early for Upper Valley, trailing by 11.
And listen, as someone who's gotten a lot of names wrong on this ESPN Plus broadcast, there's absolutely no shame in that, especially at our good friend Sam's expense here. I always enjoy getting a chuckle out of that.
First pitch is an off-speed delivery, just catching the zone to Jack Doyle.
I've been called worse things.
Yes. As have I. Well, when I went to pick up my Dunkin' order this morning, they thought my name was spelled with an E.
Really?
E-A-N?
I couldn't tell you.
What'd you get from Duncan?
Swing and a miss for strike 3. They got a couple new things. I got the hot honey bacon sandwich and a s'mores cold brew.
Wow. How's the I'm not a coffee guy, but how was the sandwich?
It was good. It was good.
There we go.
That is the 3rd strikeout for Jacob Price, the most he's gotten in an outing this season. Faces Misaki, pops the first one up over our heads and out of the ballpark. 2 hops onto the firehouse.
Yeah. We always see every game at least 1 or 2 that end up hopping to the firehouse. Usually, honestly, they have at least one of the garage doors open, and one of the firefighters is camping out around there and gets a souvenir. Not tonight.
Misaki 0 for 2 with a walk today. But yeah, with that Dunkin' order, I walk up to the counter, did a mobile order, and he said, hey, my name's Ian. I see my order sitting right there, like behind the counter. I don't want to reach over and grab it.
Yeah.
But then they say, now it might be on the drive-through, and then they come back and say, I don't see any order starting with an E. And then I just have to say, I think that's my order right there. And then they have that moment of realization, oh, it's spelled with an I.
Wow.
Wow.
Never seen that before.
No,
yeah, no.
That's unbelievable.
Ball and 2 strikes. Ring them up. Fastball on the outside corner. Gets Misaki looking. Back-to-back Ks in the book for Jacob Price.
Price becoming more and more impressive, really, as his outing continues. A couple of strikeouts to begin the 6th. And this could honestly save the Nighthawks looking ahead to tomorrow night. Yeah, you look at the scoreline and say it doesn't really matter what happens now, but it does to a point because you got to always think about the future.
Fastball right down America's Cup Avenue for strike 1 here to the leadoff man in Duncan. Tough go for him ever since the leadoff walk. Struck out 3 straight times. And he's in an 0-2 hole.
Hey, Newport's up 11-0, but that 7-game hit streak for Andrew Duncan's in jeopardy still.
And it is. Takes it down low. Mentioned he did not sign after getting drafted in the 19th round. A lot of talented guys that were in the same spot. David Price, one of them. Ike Davis. But it won't be extended right here. Swing and a miss. 4 strikeout for Jacob Price. 4 strikeout as well for Andrew Duncan. Now it's my turn to turn it over to Sam Reese when we come back.
Early lead. Oh, we got a Nighthawks going too. Okay. Oh, now they're neck and neck ride. Uh-oh. Chaos up the finish line. Uh-oh, and we got a winner. And this appears to be the first loss from the Nighthawks after Grand Hatfield.
An epic race that you just caught the very end of there in the outfield. Brendan, do you have a favorite out there? How is it looking in the outfield?
That's the world famous gully race, of course, that we're talking about. Which,
oh, yeah.
You know, sometimes we see the players participate in. It's really, you know, once you get to the seventh inning of an 11-0 NECBL game, things really seem to get off the rails, I suppose.
If you've tuned into this broadcast, you would know.
Yeah, correct. Correct.
That's a good point. We are on to the seventh, and there is actually a new pitcher, ladies and gentlemen.
Our
for
guy.
Newport. Ty Stark entering the contest, and I can firmly say this is the most run support he's had in any appearance so far this summer, and that doesn't take away from the fact that he's been stellar on the hill for Newport. One of the most impressive relievers for this team, Brendan. 5 appearances, and he hasn't allowed an earned run in 10 1/3 innings of work with 5 walks and 19 strikeouts. He's one of the better arms that Newport has to offer.
He's one of the better arms that Newport has to offer. He's one of the most intriguing arms that Newport has to offer with that 3-quarter delivery. Of course, everyone makes the comparison to a former Red Sox and current Braves pitcher, but you know, he's really fun to watch, and he obviously just finished his sophomore season at Louisville. Freshman season at Louisville, and he is a joy to talk to, a joy to watch play baseball, and it's just a ton of fun to see him when he's moving and grooving.
That comparison makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Same exact build. It's a lot remaining the same from Stark to Chris Sale, and you look at his numbers this season, another thing that stands out, only 2 hits through 10 1/3, none for extra bases.
Unreal stuff. And fittingly enough, Stark has stated that his favorite athlete is Chris Sale.
There you go.
With all those comparisons, making that make sense. 1-1 the count to the leadoff hitter here in the 7th, Cole Fellows.
Sam and I have heard the comparison so many times that I'm just like, you know, okay, we get it, Chris Sale. But it is true. You know, he's certainly got the stuff, but interested to see kind of how he operates here as in an 11-0 game. But he was talking to us before the game, admiring our broadcast setup.
Yeah.
And but just the things that he
Here's the 1-2, and it's well outside to even it up.
But he talks about how when he was down at Louisville this year, things would get, you know, he'd be set to pitch out of the bullpen. He'd be warmed up and all ready, and then, you know, he'd look up at the scoreboard and it'd be a 15-3 game that he wouldn't be able to pitch in. Or
right, they didn't need him.
Yeah, they wouldn't have needed him. So he talked a lot about how kind of not the lack of opportunities that he got, but just kind of the bad luck that he had. Probably not as many appearances as he would have liked.
Still 16 out of the bullpen in your freshman year. Not too shabby. That one almost clipped the legs of Fellows, who had to hop out of the way. The count full. Stark held his ERA to under 4 in his freshman season for Louisville, playing some high-level ACC ball.
One more note on the comparison. He's even got the number.
Yes.
Correct.
The 41. This is hit up the middle, and it gets through. Doyle couldn't quite get there, and it's a leadoff single, so a rare hit allowed by Ty Stark, the leadoff man on, and Cole Fellows for the Nighthawks.
3-hit ball game for Cole Fellows.
Yeah, how about it?
Really flying under the radar, but just another nice piece of hitting, going right back up the middle. And, you know, it's something that you could just look back on this ball game and say, hey, I played well. It might have been an ugly loss, but still, you did what you could if you're Cole Fellows to try to help your team come back.
Upper Valley has 4 hits tonight, 75% of those from Cole Fellows, to your point, Ian. as Stark delivers the first pitch outside to Owen Petrich, who's 0 for 2 with the ground out and fly out to right.
Second straight day with a 3-hit ball game. It's not consecutive because it came in game 1 of the doubleheader.
There you go.
Then he went 0 for in game 2, but still, back-to-back days with 6 hits.
Not too shabby, and honestly more impressive to have a 3-hit game in a 7-inning contest as well. 2-0 the count. And if this was a 7-inning game, in theory, it would still have been a 3-hit performance from Fellows. He did it within that period as the 2-0 pitch is on the way. And that misses from Stark, so 3 balls to start off against Petrich, the first baseman batting 6th for Upper Valley. Stark delivers, and a foul ball, so a 3-0 pitch swung on by Petrich. He liked what he saw.
Like what he saw, and you figure a guy with Petrich's power, you want to give him a green light when you're trailing by this many runs. A homer could just spark a little bit of something, so the green light makes sense.
Shout out to our netting sponsor on that one.
Yes.
Yes, netting professionals. Best in the game. Swing and a miss, and there is strike 3. Strike 2, I should say. I beg your pardon. It was a 3-1 count. I got ahead of myself there. I apologize.
I saw you writing something down in the scorebook. I said, not yet.
Not yet. I got a little too anxious there. It is a full count now, so Stark has worked his way back into the count. Not quite strike 3 yet, but we'll see if I foreshadowed anything.
Did you already write down the K?
Yes, I'm gonna sort that out.
A lot riding here.
There you go.
There you go.
Ty Stark, Mr. Reliable on the mound, and he bailed me out there for the first out of the inning.
You're keeping score in pen, too. That would have been a real trouble.
That's why I just left it there just in case. I wasn't going to do any, because, yes, I do keep score with a pen, which is a very risky and bold move.
It is helpful here, a little bit of low light in our setup, so it does help you be able to read your scorebook.
It's true. Trommer fouls off the first pitch. That reminds us we could
Thank
turn
you.
on those lights.
Thank you for reminding me, Ian.
Brendan's going to work his magic.
All right.
Just give us 1 second and those lights will flicker on here up in the booth. Michael Trommer at the plate, the number 7 hitter. 1 away, runner on first is Fellows. Oof. It's a non-committal swing. Trommer got caught between 2 minds there, but he went 0-2.
I think that would have been a strike anyways, just totally crossed up.
Can Stark record back-to-back Ks, excuse me. The answer's yes, and this time it's a backwards one. Down looking goes Trommer as the lights flicker on here in the booth. Isn't that so much better?
All
Ian?
right, yeah, I can read my scorebook now.
Look at that.
We got so caught up in the broadcast that we forgot we had the lights here.
Yeah, I correct.
Carter Jagiella is now in the batter's box in a lefty on a righty duel. First pitch, swing and a miss. Jagiella 0 for 2 so far.
Now hitless in his last 12 at-bats. He'd love to just get on base here.
Trying to get out of a slump is Jagiella. But same result on the second pitch, nothing in 2. And Stark's 1 strike away from letting us stretch here at Cardines.
Could use it. Been sitting a while.
Yes, I'm with you. Just over 3 hours, 15 minutes into this one. 2 hours, 15 minutes. Again, I went ahead of myself as the line drive is beyond the outstretched glove of Seymour. In the inning, not done yet. A single for Jagiella advances Fellows to second. 2 on for Upper Valley with 2 outs.
Well, that's one way to hit one of the best relievers in the NECBL. Only 2 hits allowed for Ty Stark through 10 1/3. Now he allows 2 more in just 2/3 of an inning. Upper Valley seeing him well despite a couple of quick Ks in there as well. A pair of base hits. Double the hit totals allowed total on the year for Stark.
That was really well done from Jagiella. He took that inside, kind of down and in, and was able to just turn it right up to center field.
So a little bit of a delay to that stretch I alluded to
Yeah.
that we're looking forward to. Luke Zeisloff, the 9-hitter, faces Stark now, and strike one taken. Zeisloff out of Maryland, but is in the portal. A rising junior, batting 179 so far this summer. Another batter looking to get some momentum on his side. The 0-1. Down the line, and it veers foul. Just foul of the first base bag.
So he's transferring out of College Park?
Yes.
Yes, correct. Only played 12 games, 2 starts for the Terrapins this past spring as a sophomore.
It's interesting noting the lineup. 6, 7, 8, 9, all from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
8 and 9, both in the transfer portal.
Wow.
Zeisloff from the town of Bloomsburg. He did win a summer ball title last year, I should mention, with the Amsterdam Mohawks over in the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. That one in the dirt, Zeisloff held up. That's ball one.
What do you know about the Amsterdam Mohawks, Sam?
You know, I know a thing or two. I might have called a couple of big Luke Zeisloff plays last summer. I had to get that into the broadcast before we wrapped up tonight.
Well, I got to get in that College Park might be the best college town in America, and storming the floor at the Xfinity Center is an all-timer.
There you go. Swing and a miss. He went chasing 86 out of the hands of Stark, and he gets out unscathed. It's still 11-0 Newport. Now we can stretch. I hope you guys do too at home.
Drink, launch, hydrate, win the moment.
Take Me Out to the Ball Game echoes over the speakers of Cardines Field as we are on to the bottom of the 7th. Listen, I'm not a huge hat guy, but I love me a Zephyr cap. Zephyr is the official on-field cap of the NECBL, also known as, as Brendan laughs over there, also known as the Z-Hats. Zephyr is the authentic college hat with over 800 colleges and channels that same energy and creativity into building custom hats of all types for pro sports teams, clothing brands, and companies everywhere. Make sure you pick up your Newport Gulls official on-field cap today. Well, another unique feature about Cardines Field, both bullpens basically conjoined over on down that left field line. So you see both bullpens of each team kind of mingling together there, and that's another unique aspect of Cardines Field. They're kind of lumped together there. There's two mounds there, one for each team, I suppose, to warm up, to get pitches. It gets a little crammed there, but they make it work here at historic Cardines Field.
And the dugout's much the same. They're back-to-back on the first base line. A little bit crammed for space here in downtown Newport, but they made it work back in the 1907 when this place was constructed.
Way back in the day. Hare takes ball one. We're off and running in the bottom of the 7th. Tyler Hare has reached base 3 times so far. That one looped way out of play off to the left side. That one's across America's Cup hat. Forget on it.
Might be where we parked our bus.
That may have hit the aquarium.
It's a good bet. 1-1. Hare held up. It's up high, ball 2. Jacob Price still out there. To his credit, he's done a nice job as the fourth pitcher.
5 strikeouts, the most he's gotten by a pretty large margin in any outing this season.
And his 4th inning of work here out of the pen. 3-1 to Tyler Hare, the left-handed batter who starred at Wofford this past spring, led the team with 16 home runs. And a 3-1, another looping foul ball off to the left side, and another one way out of play. The count is full to the Atlanta, Georgia native in Tyler Hare. Price kicks and deals. Ball 4. So that's now 4 out of 5 plate appearances that Hare has reached base, a double, single, and a couple of walks.
Hey, he'll take it. That's a solid ball game, and it's been a little bit without a leadoff walk. There were several leadoff base runners earlier on in the ball game, but now finally comes back to haunt Upper Valley again. It's the 4th inning with a leadoff walk over the course of this game.
Common theme throughout the night. Dixon Williams, big swing and miss for the first strike. And going along with that theme, Williams is someone who's walked a couple of times already. Singled back in the first inning. Scoring a couple of the 11 Newport runs that have crossed home plate. The 0-1 from Price. Nicely located pitch inside part of the zone at 73.
That's a tough pitch to hit.
Williams plays for his hometown school of East Carolina, where he just wrapped up his sophomore year. Waits the 0-2, hit opposite field, but it won't stay fair. That loops foul out of play towards the bullpen out there.
Looking back, some dubious records tied and or set tonight for Upper Valley. The 7 walks allowed by Dylan McCarthy. It's the most by any pitcher in a single outing in Upper Valley history, and the 13 walks ties a team record allowed. That happened back on July 22nd of last year against the Swamp Bats.
Wow.
Do you just have that information loaded?
I painstakingly did that in May, looking back at every box score to do that manually.
I salute my cap to you, sir.
Going back.
That's incredible stuff.
Going back in the, like.
Fortunately, the team started back in 2016.
Right. Oh, and that's a rocket way out of play from Williams.
So I didn't have to look, decades back, but 7 years of ball
So you
games
went
to look back.
2016 to 2023.
Yes.
Every
2023 helps. I was the broadcaster last year, so I did have that kind of on quick recall. But before that, had to rely on Point Streak and the NECBL.com archives.
Wow. Heck of a job. And look at that, same result. Williams keeps fouling off to that left side. That count has stayed at 0-2 for a couple of minutes, it's felt like now.
Going to run out of baseballs at this rate.
Yeah.
Seventh pitch of the at-bat.
I don't even think that's an exaggeration in what Ian said. Got to recoup new sets of baseballs. How about an 0-2 again? And finally, ball 1.
Shout out to Rawlings.
Shout out.
We don't have a ball sponsor, do we?
Not one that we have to say.
Okay,
but
shout out to Rawlings.
Shout out to Rawlings. Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Rawlings is the official ball of the NECBL. That I know. That I do know.
And look at that. Another foul ball. I mean, those foul balls are way out of this ballpark.
Yeah, whoever's walking down America's Cup Avenue is going to scoop up some souvenirs. If you picked right now to walk your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to, gotta.
First off, protect your dog, but second
Yes.
off, you get some free baseballs.
And the dog might need to hold one of those balls.
Yeah.
1-2 again. Swing and a miss. Williams, had a look of disagreement with Marvin Gomez over something. I'm not sure what.
He thought it hit the ground, which would have just been a foul ball. But
so it was tipped, I suppose. It was close. Looking at the replay there, I don't think many people can complain at this stage considering the scoreline.
Pretty decent crowd remaining for an 11-0 game. There at Cardine. We have seen worse.
Home team's also up.
Correct.
That helps.
Yeah, helps. Randy Seymour now up for the 5th time tonight. Singled back in the 5th. Also had a sac fly in inning number 3. We're now in the bottom of the 7th. 11-0 Newport, and that's been the score for a while. Foul ball, and that one goes across the street. No, bounces off the firehouse and back across America's Cup Ave towards the entrance here at Cardines Field. A little ricochet action.
That's not America's Cup athlete.
Sorry, yes.
That's
Correct.
Marlboro.
Yes, you're right.
America's Cup athlete.
Over there, yes.
Marlboro.
Yes, correct. Sorry. You'd think I'd have my geography down. At this point in July, there's strike 2 to Seymour on the inside part of the plate.
Hey, you mentioned it. 11-0's been our score for a while. That's been our score since you gave up the broadcast duties to me. It was 11-0 after 3 full. Nothing but zeros since then.
I was going to say it, but I let you do those honors. Jammed with Seymour in that one, again, across the street towards the fire department.
I kind of joked in yesterday's ball game that I didn't call hardly any runs, especially game 1 of that doubleheader. All 7 runs of game 1 scored after I gave up play-by-play duties. I did get to call a walk-off, but now I'm losing all the run scoring again.
Guess so. That misses 2-2. I will say the last home game here at Cardines Friday night, it was our good friend Zach Brody, play-by-play voice of the Bristol Blues, who was on the call for that 7-run inning for Newport, which included a grand slam, of course. This one popped high up, foul ground behind home plate, and that's unplayable for Jagiella. That one bounces just out of Cardines Field.
Empty intersection, thankfully, behind us.
Yes. Perfect timing in that regard. 1 out, runner on first, Tyler Hare. It's a 2-2 count. Price sets at the waist, kick steals. Strike 3 called. Seymour rung up by home plate umpire Marvick Gomez. Back-to-back Ks for Jacob Price, and he's still dealing for Upper Valley.
He's dealing. That's 7 strikeouts now for Price. This is the best he's seen of him all summer. And if you could get this kind of performance from him in a close ball game where you need some competitive innings, this kind of performance would really serve you well, especially when you look at rivalry series like those against Vermont, which is now knotted up at 2. He's now an arm that you could think about throwing in a close ball game.
Definitely one of the few bright spots to come out of this contest for the Nighthawks. 1-0 the count on Nolan Stevens. A long trip down for Upper Valley. How long was the ride down?
With traffic, about 4+ hours, because we left at 12 from the ball field. So about 4:15 with traffic.
Gotcha. Check swing, and it's a strike.
Are you podcast? Are you listening to music? Are you watching a movie? Sleeping?
Watching the Euros.
Of course.
Love it. Love it.
Watching the Euros between games and app.
Yeah. There you go.
That's me right there,
Yeah.
too, Ian. So, 1 of 1, I guess. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Down low and in. 2-1 the count.
May or may not have also fallen asleep during the France game.
I can't blame you on that.
I don't blame you for that at all.
I had it on in the background at my apartment while prepping for this game,
Yeah.
and it's a reason why it was more of a background type of thing. Tried to invest in it for a little bit, but it was not the most enthralling game. But France found a way. There's a strike called. 2-2 to Stevens, who already has a couple of hits tonight.
Reached all 4 times, 2 hits, 2 walks. Opposite order, though. Started with 2 walks.
Trying to make it 5 for 5 in terms of reaching base. Price might have other ideas. Ball just missed. I guess a hair inside. That's the definition of borderline right there.
Yeah, it could have gone either way. Price didn't get the call. Has to work a little bit harder if he wants strikeout number 8.
It's a full count with 2 outs to Nolan Stevens, the red-hot left-handed batter out of Mississippi State. Here it is. Hit sharp, and of course it's through for another hit. Rounding second and heading to third is Tyler Hare. Finally thrown in by Zeisloft from center.
Looks like there is a change out there at center. That's Bryce Blazer out there now. So now Matt Paz is going to the dugout, making some changes. It wasn't announced here. I didn't even see an umpire point out there. So we'll clean that up. That is Bryce Blazer out in center field.
I just noticed that right as I said Zeisloft, I said, I don't think that's Zeisloft out there. Thanks for the catch, Ian. And Nolan Stevens with a 3-hit night. He is unbelievable. And the inning not done yet. Popped up on the first pitch by Burley. That's unplayable for the catcher, Jagiella. And that one bounces right across the street. That's heading towards the intersection, across it, into the lane to turn left onto the road behind us, and that ball will stay put. Hopefully no one runs over that.
Might still be usable if someone goes out there to grab it.
Brendan, how about you keep an eye on that? I want to see if
that's exactly
someone,
what I'm doing.
I want to see how long that baseball is stationary.
We do have a gentleman walking in the direction of the baseball. He's got a blue quarter zip and khakis on. He's tracking into the road. He bends down.
Seems like an episode of America's Most Wanted.
Very slowly, he scoops up the baseball.
He's got it. It's all his.
Interested to see if because folks who go get foul balls are not re-entered into the game.
Correct.
As he looks to make his way down Thames Street for a wonderful Monday night here in Newport.
Yeah, he's walking away with it. Credit to him. It's a 3-1 count, meanwhile, to Burley, who was almost drilled by that last pitch.
There's a baseball going on. There's a baseball game going on.
There is. 3-1 pitch. Off speed, and it misses ball 4. A 5-pitch walk. And stop me if you've heard this. The bases are loaded for Newport.
Just another inning, it seems, for this Gulls offense. They did have the bases loaded off of Price in the 5th. They were unable to score because they did load it with 2 outs, and bases were loaded similar fashion. A Stevens single and a Burley walk. We'll see if Austin Fort flies out to center here. That's what happened last time.
Right. So a meeting at the mound, Jagiella and Price just talking things over. So we're in the bottom of the 7th. Really perfect weather night here in Newport. Even for us in suits, Brendan, this is, I can't complain.
Delightful.
It's lovely. Not even sweating, I must say.
No.
Yeah, we're all comfortable. You're in suits. I'm in shorts over here.
Austin Fort swings at the first pitch. This is not a flyout. It bounces down in shallow left field, scooped up by Pacheco. A run scores. Tyler Hare crosses home. And for the first time since the 3rd inning, the Newport Gulls are on the board. It's a 12-0 game now. And Austin Fort up to 4 RBI with that knockout to shallow left.
It just went with the pitch away from him. Didn't try to pull it. Instead, just pushed it opposite field. That's how you get the job done.
And the 3rd run scored as well by Tyler Hare on the evening. Strike 1 dealt to Jack Doyle. With the bases again loaded with 2 outs. Austin Fort at first, Burley at second, Stevens at 3rd. That one inside, it skipped out of the glove of Jagiella, but he quickly captures it to make sure Stevens stays where he is at 3rd.
Probably one with a different score line that we may see Stevens try to go for it.
Absolutely.
So a 1-1 count, all even to Doyle, the Northeastern product. He takes a crack at this one. That's looped over to the right side and out of play. That one across the street. We're losing a lot of baseballs, especially in this inning.
Any fans on the way back to their cars might be nice enough to bring a few of them back.
Maybe.
Not admitted re-entry.
Well, after the ball game's over.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, stick around to see the final out.
That foul ball was an interesting one from Doyle because it hit the top of the backstop. So it took an awkward bounce, almost landed right in the Newport dugout. The 1-2 again to Doyle. Up the middle it goes. Fry claims it, flipped to second. It's an easy 3rd out. As Newport leaves the bases loaded. However, they do add another. It's 12-0 Gulls. We're heading to the 8th after this. Stick with us.
If you can get the right player, you'll go home with a good card good for a free rep against your ass. Tonight's mystery goal is a black belt in karate. His go-to Chick-fil-A order is a 20-piece grilled nugget, a large fry, and in his words, a boatload of Polynesian sauce. He also has a bleached mohawk, had a bleached mohawk for 10 years in high school. Is it A, Aiden Coleman, B, Jake Burley, or C, Brody Nacho? I'll go with number C. It's not C, Brody Nacho. Want to take a second guess? It is correct. That's right. Tonight's Newport Gulls is Aiden Coleman. You're going home with a free wrap. Thanks to our friend next
On to the 8th here in Newport, and soon enough it'll be on to Sanford for Upper Valley. Here's a look at the upcoming schedule for the Nighthawks, Ian.
Yeah, Nighthawks have 2 straight at the Maxfield Sports Complex coming up, hosting the Sanford Mainers and then the North Adams Steeplecats. 2 big games because of those teams immediately ahead of you in the playoff standings right now. You go 2-0 there, you could find yourself in that 7 or 8 seed. Then you have the Keene Swamp Bats in Keene after that, after the July 4th holiday. And it's interesting. Nighthawks have played Keene. This will be 3 times, all 3 times in Keene. Swamp Bats yet to make the trip to the Maxfield Sports Complex, yet they're due up very soon.
And the day before that, on the 4th of July, Keene will be coming down here to face Newport for the first meeting between those teams this season. Newport will travel to Keene the week before the All-Star break, so Keene, one of the few teams Newport has yet to see this season. That will change on the night of July 4th, but as you mentioned, Upper Valley has the 4th off, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So you got any plans personally, Ian, 4th of July, or just chilling?
We'll have to talk it out. Usually the interns do something. At least that was the case last year. Last year, a Red Sox game. Red Sox on the road this year for the 4th. But 3 different minor league games going on. There's a short track race as well. Just in Barry and Thunder Road, which is a pretty significant short track. So as a racing fan, might go check that out.
Awesome.
A lot of choices, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your favorite off-day activity in White River Junction / Hartford?
In White River Junction, we do have a gym membership. So it's been nice going to the gym, at least whenever we get the opportunity. Have an indoor-outdoor pool as well. So doing that, but in the nearby area, there's definitely some good short track racing. Haven't gotten the chance to check it out yet. Planning to do it at some point.
Chopper to second here, and it's no problem for Jack Doyle, who throws on to Matt Austinfort. The leadoff hitter, Trey Chrisman, retired for the first out. Ty Stark still out there working for Newport.
Are you into hiking at all? Hiking or any sort of
you would think that
Vermont outdoor
you would think that since I'm coming up here for year 2, I would be. Not entirely.
Not quite. Walking up a mountain doesn't really get you going.
Look at that. It's looped over to Dixon Williams and went right into his glove. That was perfect placement from the third baseman out of ECU. And we're rolling here in the 8th. 2 up, 2 down, just like that.
Moving and grooving.
Looking at the out-of-town scoreboard here, a couple of finals already in the books. Vermont Mountaineers hold on for a 4-3 win over Mystic. They were up early. And I think this is the fastest Mountaineers game that's ever been played. It only took 2 hours, 18 minutes. That's extremely quick for Mitch Holmes and this ball club. Also, the Keene Swamp Bats fell to the Sanford Mainers 3-2 a little bit earlier on today. That game only took 2.5 hours. So some quick ball games in the North Division, which has been uncharacteristic for those teams.
Well, when Vermont came here, second game of the season, the home opener for Newport, it was 4 hours and 5 minutes, a 10-inning affair that the Mountaineers won 12-8. To your point about those long Mountaineers games. Bryce Blazer is now at the plate, replacing DJ Pacheco in the 3 spot.
So
strike one.
So we saw him come in defensively, so there must have been some other change as well, because he takes place of Pacheco, who was in left. Not sure what the following change was.
Try to track that down. Swing and a miss, Stark quickly ahead 0-2.
Have you tried the maple candies?
Maple candies, maple creamy at the ballpark, maple flavored ice cream at the Maxfield Sports Complex. Must have.
Really?
Must have.
Put it on the list.
I guess I missed out on my trip up there. Should have taken advantage.
The maple candies are just phenomenal.
Maple candies on the maple ice cream.
Oh, wow.
That's the move.
Really? God, you got me wanting to go up to White River Junction now.
1-2 pitch. Almost caught him. Blazer skipped out of the way, 2-2. start trying to put an end to this top of the 8th. The lefty kicks and deals, swing and a miss. And a fitting way to end the inning. It's a strikeout for Stark. He retires the top of the order in order. And we go to the bottom of the 8th after this. The Gulls are cruising.
You got me, higher, higher. You got me, on fire, fire. Every day, feeling like a holiday. You got me.
At the time, I was a firefighter in Little Compton, and I was teaching a lot of classes. And being up there at 330 pounds was somewhat hypocritical. South Coast Health was excellent in providing the tools and the opportunities. You're re-taught to eat after the surgery. And it was exciting to finally know that I was getting to where I wanted to be. Having kids, a 9-year-old son, it makes me feel really good that I'm in better shape to enjoy his childhood with him. I'm very happy. Very happy.
Well, listen up, folks. The choice of Major League All-Stars is now the official batting gloves of the New England League. Bruce Bolt. Bruce Bolt batting gloves are handmade by skilled craftsmen using 100% real Cabretta leather. The stitching, materials, and unique design make these the best-fitting, most durable batting gloves in baseball. For more information, visit brucebolt.us. Again, that's brucebolt.us. All right, we took a look at the Nighthawks' upcoming schedule. Here we see the Gulls, who will travel to Ocean State tomorrow before an off day Wednesday, and then a couple of home games. Brendan, in non-division play on the 4th and the 5th.
Yeah, the 4th of July home game should be an electric atmosphere in here on Thursday. Go to the beach, go hit up Thames Street and come here for a little nightcap. What a day that would be. And then obviously taking advantage of the tourist, kind of everything that's going on, hosting back-to-back games on Friday as well.
Sounds like a great day to me, but we still have a game to finish here on Monday, July 1st, and we do have a new pitcher for Upper Valley. So that's the end of the line for Jacob Price, who really impressed out of the bullpen. It's now Nate Kreider who enters, making his 6th appearance already this summer for the Nighthawks, Ian.
Yeah, Nate Kreider has been a really important back-end bullpen piece. 6 appearance, as you mentioned, this year, through 9 1/3, a 4.82 ERA, holding opponents to a 194 batting average, but as we've seen so often tonight already, the walks have gotten him into trouble. He's walked 11 batters, also struck out 11, coming off a scoreless inning in Game 1 against Vermont to lock down what was a 6-1 win.
So the second straight day in action for Kreider out of the bullpen, and he faces Carmelo Musakia to start things off. Big fan and a miss from Musakia for strike 1.
And for Kreider, a fastball could touch 91, also a slider. Best pitch, though, is a splitter.
0-1, bit hesitant, and that's a big broken bat right back at Kreider, who jogs over in the short toss to Petrich for out number 1. My goodness, what a broken bat that was. A great job by our camera operator to show you that broken bat in real time.
Cleaning up that defensive change, Blazer came in for the center fielder Zeisloff, at least defensively, but he replaced DJ Pacheco in the lineup. Zeisloff moving from center to left, stays in the ball game in the 9-hole.
Yes. And now it is the 6th plate appearance for Andrew Duncan tonight, who whiffs on the first pitch, strike 1.
We mentioned a few other talented names that were 19th round picks that did not sign. Another one, Jerry Remy. Great Jerry Remy.
Dog.
Gotta love Jerry Remy, especially around these parts. Oh, and that one almost hit him. There were shouts from the crowd saying that got him, but apparently it did not nick Andrew Duncan. So the plate appearance continues with a 1-1 count.
Another one, Ron Say. 6-time All-Star for the Dodgers.
It's a lot of them. Check swing. Did Hare hold up? The first base umpire says he did hold up. So 2 balls and a strike on Andrew Duncan, who, after walking in the first inning, has struck out in his last 4 plate appearances. And again, a 7-game hit streak is in danger of being snapped tonight, despite the scoreline. 2-1. That dips down below the zone, I should say. 3 balls and a strike to the 19th round draft pick by the Houston Astros last summer, as Ian mentioned.
Those 19th round draft picks, much different than a few years back in the day.
There's a 5-pitch walk to Duncan.
An interesting ball game for Duncan. Tell you about it in a second. But with the draft being shortened from seemingly endless drafts from earlier on, see guys that were drafted like 60th, 80th round, then shortened to 40 rounds, a strict cutoff, now a strict cutoff at 20. So those 19th, 20th round picks, officially late round guys. But interesting ball game for Duncan offensively. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 6 plate appearances. Hasn't really done anything, hasn't put a ball in play yet today.
Not a stat line you see every day.
And he's seemingly been at bat basically every inning.
Just
felt
about,
like it.
with the exception of the 5th and 7th, correct.
Hasn't hit twice in an inning yet.
No.
Not saying it can't happen.
Swing and a miss from Hare, strike 2. I will say that delivery from Kreider's a bit interesting, where he almost stalls the release in the middle of that throwing motion.
Something that could throw the timing off the hitters.
It's fun to watch.
Certainly seemed like it threw Hare off on that last pitch. Watch the motion here. Great camera angle as well from center field. There it is. Cut on and missed, and it's a 3-pitch punch out for Kreider, his first strikeout and second out. Nope. And second out here with the second, I should say, Dixon Williams stepping up to the plate as I stumble all over my words. It's been a long night. Two away, the runner on first, Andrew Duncan. It's a first pitch strike to Dixon Williams, who, like Duncan, has been walked a couple of times, but he has also got on base by putting the ball in play. That was a single to drive in 2 runs all the way back in the first inning. 0-1 pitch, down by the shin. Ball 1.
Newport offense not alone in having 12 runs on the board tonight. Danbury also with 12 runs hung up against the Bristol Blues.
Wow.
They're 3 outs away from a big upset win.
That's a shocker. Danbury, who upset Newport last Tuesday as well.
That's a good Bristol Blues team, too.
Right. An attempt to frame it by Kreider, but it's a ball.
They've done it differently. They've done it on 14 hits.
Okay.
Slightly different.
So a little more how you'd expect.
Right.
12 runs to be put up on the board.
Also 6 errors from Bristol in that game.
Oof. Williams watches that one sail outside. A 3-1 count. Williams looking to earn his 3rd walk of the evening. The 3-1 from Kreider. Roped foul. That went right towards the upper valley dugout. Oh, look at that. We got a bunny out in the field. Great job by one of our camera operators to capture that.
I think Chris has it.
Yeah.
Our camera 5 operator.
Great work from Chris.
Massive shout out to him.
That's a small bunny, too.
Yeah.
I see it. It's right out in right center field.
Yep, there it is. I see it as well.
Oh, wow.
Full count pitch in the meantime. And that dips low. Ball 4. Williams has indeed been walked for the 3rd time tonight. He's on first now. Duncan slides over to second in the inning, not done yet.
What is the name of the dog in Up?
Oh.
What is the name of that dog?
Doug.
Doug.
Doug when he goes squirrel. That was like Sam when he saw.
Hey, when I saw a bunny on the monitor,
he's like
caught my attention. That's
He's
for
like,
sure.
oh, now our cameramen have lost the bunny. Or
I still see
they're
it.
trying to get Andrew.
Yeah, they're trying to get Andrew. Bunny hasn't moved.
I guess the player is more important than the animal.
Potentially.
Ball one dealt to Randy Seymour. But in a 12-0 game, we're certainly intrigued by the bunny.
Absolutely.
Why wouldn't you be? 1-0 pitch. This one rocketed high in the air left field. A lot of ground to cover for Zyslov, who has to shift back to his left and can't make the play. It drops down. Duncan will score on that. And it's RBI double for Randy Seymour. That ball just kept on hanging up there. And when you're not used to playing the outfield here at Cardines like Luke Zyslov, sometimes you overestimate where that ball's going, and he had to backpedal at the last second.
Well, and he just overran it a little bit. Curious to see great work by our camera crew there to catch him as he was moving to his right. Interesting to know if that just hung in the air a little bit longer than he thought, or if he kind of lost it in the lights and lost track of where it was. But that did hang in the air a long time. Seymour aboard with
Also,
either a double or a error.
It's a double. They did put the hit up on the board. Also, he just moved over from center. So it's a very different field here, unique dimensions at Cardines. And, it's a quick adjustment. Also with the lights, it's tough to make that adjustment out there, and had a tough time tracking the ball.
Now a 13-0 Newport lead as they continue to add on. 0-1 to Stevens. He went swinging at that business, and it pops sky high and lands right near the Newport dugout.
Williams cross.
Yes, so Williams crosses home. Wow, that ball passed by one of the easier runs Newport scored tonight. So how about a 14-0 ball game? That's what we have now.
2 touchdowns.
With both extra points converted.
Of course.
Williams converting the latter one right there. Seymour also advancing the third. Duncan scored moments ago before Williams. It's now 1-2 to Nolan Stevens, who already has 3 hits tonight. Wouldn't it be something if he could notch a 4th?
Who do you think on the Newport Gulls team would be able to convert an extra point?
Ooh, good question.
Also a question for Upper Valley. If there's a player who
let's
can
see
convert,
here.
Can
1-2, swing and a miss. We'll pick up the conversation on that. We'll give you time to think.
That's a poor question with 2 strikes and 2 outs.
The bunny runs towards the center field as we head to break. That bunny's taking off. He's going to enjoy himself. We're heading to break. The 9th inning next.
Run. So we go home with these tips our guitar, but we've got 2 songs planned. So just for our bragging rights, here's number 2. Take a while, guys. Dugout, what is it? Yeah, they got it. Style drunk. Thank you to our neighbors in the Marriott who thought great.
You see the box score right there. It's been all Newport tonight. And listen up quickly. Whether you're an island resident or planning a summer getaway, the fastest way to get to the Cape and Islands is by taking the New England League's preferred partner, the Steamship Authority Ferry. You can visit steamshipauthority.com for more information. And that really tells the story, Ian, in this game, where it's been the Gulls from start to finish, 14 runs on just 10 hits.
That it does, and you look at the walks. That's going to tell the story of the game for Upper Valley. They've walked 16 Gull batters tonight. That's a new team record, and it's really been the difference. You look at the runs that have scored as Casey Odell is now on the mound for Newport to close this one out. Of the 16 walks, 10 of them have come around to score. So you're talking about a very different ball game. This is closely contested. If you walk very few of those batters, or if you dial that down quite a bit, it's potentially a close ball game, but instead you walk a crooked number of batters, and that's been the difference.
And a big difference in the scoreline, 14-0. Casey Odell in for the final inning, as you mentioned, and after Ty Stark went in for a couple. He'll try to shut the door, making his 5th appearance, the righty out of Florida Southern, who's from Gainesville, Florida. And the first pitch is a strike delivered to Garrick Fry, and the Gulls looking to complete a shutout here.
And this is nice. You give Odell the chance to pitch with his parents in attendance.
Yes. That's up for ball 1. Actually, one of the interns here for Newport, Juliana, was telling me before the game he's got a whole lot of family members on hand tonight. I think she said 14 in total.
Wow.
As that's fouled back. So this is a cool moment for them to see Casey on the hill for the Gulls, 1 and 2.
And his father, Jimmy, threw out for one of the first pitches today.
There we go. Love to see that. Casey was telling me a few weeks ago, as the 1-2 is upstairs for ball 2, that he'd never been to this part of the country, had never been to the Northeast, so really enjoying the drive up all the way from Florida, exploring different parts of the East Coast on his way up. And there's strike 3. Fry's rung up, and a good start to the inning for Casey Odell.
Going back to our question of who do we feel could kick an extra point, I feel like I would go Nate Kreider. He was throwing the football around quite a bit last year, and that includes during a nightmare of a doubleheader against Valley where there were 3 rain delays, a lightning delay, even though there was no lightning in the area. I don't know what was up with that. It took us about 8 hours to play those 2 ball games.
Oh.
He threw the football around a lot, got a good look at it. I think he would be my pick for Upper Valley.
I feel like Lizama,
I don't know what position he played, though.
Okay.
Right.
That's the thing.
That is the thing.
Like, if he was a kicker, there's no doubt about it. He also played soccer as well, so
there you go.
There's a potential Lizama could do it.
Who do you think on our end, Sam?
Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. You see I'm buying more time. Who do I
Brilliantly done.
Does anyone... There's no one that stands out to me, Brendan, that I think could confidently make an extra point. I hate to say it.
No soccer players on your roster either.
Yeah, exactly. Not that I'm aware of, anyways.
None listed on their college pages,
No.
at least.
Fouled off. Count stays put at 1 and 2. I don't know. We got to get an answer in, though, Brendan. I have more faith in you to deliver one than me, because you did ask the question.
I know. This is now a question that I need to find an answer to as I'm scanning the field. I have more answers if I know who couldn't than I know who could.
2-2. Off the bat, it's a weak hit to short. Seymour with a cannon over to first, and it's in time. The Gulls are 1 out away from securing their first shutout victory of the season, and you have 1 more out to make up your mind, Brendan.
Seymour, I could see Seymour.
Yeah.
He's got the long leg. He's got the jump.
Athletic. Like I can see it.
I think that might be my answer.
All right. I don't mind that pick. Well, the last hope here for Upper Valley is Owen Petrich, who fans on the first pitch he sees from Casey Odell.
This would be the 4th time that Upper Valley gotten shut out this year.
That one skips high off. I think it actually hit the plate, and that's why it had such a big bounce.
0-0 USA Uruguay in the 39th minute for those counting at home as well.
Appreciate the update there. That's veered foul off to the left side, 1 and 2.
Must win for the Americans.
In all likelihood, yes, because you think Panama will take down Bolivia in the other simultaneous fixture. Back to the baseball, 1-2. Off almost the knob of the bat and foul, and that almost hit Chris, but luckily it whizzed right by him. He's all right, trust me. That did not hit Chris, but it was close.
he's a magnet, as you've
he's a ball magnet. Oh, yeah.
As you've often pointed out.
1-2 again, hit down the line. Williams Corrals has time, the throw in time, and that's the ball game. The Newport Gulls, for the first time this season, get a shutout win, and they do it in dominant fashion. 14-0 the final score. They take down the Upper Valley Nighthawks on this Monday night at Cardines.
Gulls fans, on behalf of the entire Newport Gulls organization, thank you for joining us tonight. Please remember to take your trash with you. Help keep Guardians clean.
Well, a dominant performance from the Gulls, who were coming off of a loss on Saturday against North Shore and going against an Upper Valley team that had some momentum coming into the day with 4 straight wins, including a doubleheader sweep of Vermont, the best team in the league yesterday. As we welcome you into the broadcast booth here at Cardines Field, Sam Reese alongside Brendan Luck and Ian Binke as we sort of put a wrap on things. And Ian, I would have to think for Upper Valley, this is one you kind of just want to forget quickly heading into tomorrow's game.
Absolutely. I think the only person that doesn't want to forget about this game, maybe two, Cole Fellows and Jacob Price. Price pitched extremely well and really an important role here in this ball game, saving arms by going 4 innings, allowing just 1 run and striking out 7. Meanwhile, Cole Fellows, a 3-hit ball game, his second straight day with 3 hits, ended up 3 for 4 after grounding out there in that 9th inning. But still, 2 strong performances. Everyone else, you just sleep it off. Maybe on the bus ride, long bus ride back to the Upper Valley, sleep it off, come back tomorrow because he's got a big one against Sanford.
Upper Valley will hope to quickly turn the page to Sanford tomorrow. They drop to 8-12, and then Brendan Newport, on the other hand, improves to 13-7. They have a relatively comfortable lead at the moment in the Coastal Division. Now that we're in July, this is something certainly to build off of.
Certainly, and we're looking at the schedule or the division standings here. It's a 2.5 game lead, but with the win, and then I believe we heard that Mystic lost tonight, correct?
Yes. Yep.
So now it's a 4.5 game lead, and that's really comfortable at this point in the season, and what they can do with that. And if the Gulls take care of business, they're going to be exactly where they want to be in about a month. And basically the only thing that went wrong tonight was probably Andrew Duncan not extending his hitting streak, having 6 at-bats. But, the scoreboard speaks for itself, getting it done in the first 3 innings for the Gulls.
Oh, it was dominant from start to finish as we put a bow on this one from Cardines Field on a beautiful Monday night in Newport. A big thanks to PJ Moynihan, our executive producer of the NECBL on ESPN Plus, for all of his work, as well as our producer and director here in Newport tonight, Mike Basile, and everyone else working hard behind the scenes to make this possible. For my great partners in Brendan Locke and Ian Binke, I'm Sam Reese saying so long from Cardines Field, where once again the final score is Newport 14, Upper Valley 0, a shutout for the Gulls in a dominant display in Newport. A reminder, all games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Dominant would be an understatement. The Newport Gulls cruise to a 14-0 victory for their first shutout win of the season over the Upper Valley Nighthawks. And I'm now joined by pitcher Aiden Coleman of Pittsburgh. Aiden, now several starts into your summer, and this one another dominant performance. You go 6 scoreless innings. Just how comfortable are you feeling out there on the mound?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Just trying to attack the strike zone, get ahead on hitters early, and let my defense do their thing and get the guys in the dugout so we can score. That's about it.
The defense was doing their thing, and then the offense did a lot of damage today, with the help of some struggles on Upper Valley side. But when your team scores, 5 for you in that first inning to get you that early run insurance, how much does that also help you? Not that you're dealing with any nerves, but just settle you down as well that early in your start where you already have that pretty big run insurance.
Yeah, having runs on the scoreboard in your favor is always good, but Coach Long was saying, in between innings, it's a battle with yourself now. Compete with yourself, go out there, attack the zone, get your guys in the dugout, and, let's keep them hitting. And, that's what I tried to do all night, was just attack the zone, get the guys in the dugout. That's it.
And last question for you. Talk about just the chemistry you've developed here in Newport with among mainly the pitching staff. Obviously, there's been a few big blows over the last couple of days with key starters in the rotation like Jackson and Adam, unfortunately, having to be shut down the rest of the summer. But talk about those relationships you've developed.
Yeah, I mean, the guys here, they're awesome. It's a blast. And down there in the bullpen, we have our fun. We're making friends. Bonding, it's been awesome. So, I think guys are going to step up in important roles like Brad last week. Great start Tuesday, and he'll be back again tomorrow. So I think guys stepping up, and, we'll be just fine for the rest of the summer. We got a great relationship, and we're all going to go play for each other, so it's going to be good.
I lied. One more question for you. I saw your family was here tonight as well. You're talking to them post-game. How cool is it having them in town here for a really impressive start from yourself here at Cardines?
Yeah, it's their first time at Cardines, and it was my first time pitching at Cardines, so it was awesome to have them there. It was great. So yeah, I'm happy they could travel and be here. So it was great having them in the crowd.
All right, thanks so much for the time, Aiden Coleman. Shout out in front of the family here at Cardines Field in his first home start. Newport wins at 14-0. They return to action tomorrow at Ocean State in the Pell Bridge Series, and then return home on Thursday for a July 4th showdown with Keene. Thanks so much, everyone. That's it for tonight.